This was tremendous stuff, though. Are you? I mean,
I think we have Wednesdays with Lupica. Yeah. We need every day with Lewis.
Yeah. Call every day.
He has so many thoughts on his mind. Yeah. Like they're one after another. They're just coming out.
And there's sub-thoughts, too. Like there's a thought, but then these other thoughts that go along with the original thought. I like that.
I don't know if you guys realize this, but I talk for a living.
Oh, yeah. You do?
Growing up, I always wanted to do so many things.
I wanted to be a vet.
I wanted to be an actor.
When I was really little, I don't know why, but I wanted to be a pastor. When I was like a small child,
I wanted to be a celebrity by any means necessary.
This is Spike Drop Vegas Heist.
These players are playing for a lot of money today.
I'm only here for 2 feet. I don't really care about any other place.
Can't even comprehend what is going on, but I like it.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your life, your career, and everything in between that we've uncovered. They're all centered on numbers. Some of the numbers might be familiar to you, but they all add up to tell your story. So, Nick, are you ready?
I'm ready, dude.
You're ready.
I'm ready. I was able to have my father's number within mine.
Is it true you signed over a pasta meal cooked by your grandmother, Jenny?
Joe came over to my grandma's house and we signed a contract and we had pasta that day, and I literally had completely forgot about that. That's pretty cool.
I'm so grateful that it happened the way it happened. This is how you need to go out, leave it all out there. It was perfect.
What do you want fans to think about when they see the number 23?
I wanted to be somebody different on the field, the window into how I feel about playing out there.
How do you know all this?
What was going through my head was soak this in.
The story of my number, presented by the New York Lottery.
I'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
You could pick from hundreds of law firms for your mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer case, but would you be confident that you made the best choice? Whites & Luxembourg is the firm that has represented more asbestos disease clients than any other firm in the metropolitan area. With 30 years experience, they have New York's highest recorded asbestos verdicts of all time. The choice is clear, and the stakes could not be higher.
Whites & Luxembourg has our backs.
Call Whites & Luxembourg today.
Call 1-888-411-LAWS. That's 1-888-411-LAWS.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better, even this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Hey, Yankee fans, show us how you support the Bronx Bombers, and we might spotlight you in a game. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees.
When I was 19 and I was going to shows, I was not thinking about permanent hearing loss. I wasn't thinking about tinnitus.
Sometimes my kids are having a conversation with me and that ringing starts in my ear. They're talking to me and I hear their voice, but I can't focus on what they're saying.
The audiologist, he told me that most of his clients are not old people. They're kids that have their earphones in.
I have a lot of regret about not protecting my ears sooner.
Protect your ears at all times, no matter what. It's not something you can get back.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Right here, the Knicks and the Pacers are tied at 2 apiece. The all-important Game 5 is tonight at Madison Square Garden, and you could hear it right here. Time now for Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers. The Mets lost. They lost to the Phillies 4-0, so they've lost the first 2 games of the series. They lost the first 2 games of the series against the Braves, so they are 1-4 on what we said was a very important stretch for them. 2 more games against the Phillies. One thing that I want to make a point of, A lot of people are upset about the check swing that was called the ball on Whit Merrifield. It would have been 3-2 if it was called a strike. Who knows what the next pitch would have been? I mean, you're saying like the Mets would have definitely won the game. It wasn't a strikeout if they called it a strike. It was 3-2.
3-1.
And then just because you walk Whit Merrifield, who's hitting under 200, doesn't mean that you have to hit the next batter. Also doesn't mean that you have to give a home run to start the inning up. I'd be a little worried about Edwin Diaz. Not the same guy. Fastball's not the same as it was before he hurt his knee. It's hard to miss a year and come back just as good. It's just hard. So 2 out of 3 to the Braves, 2 in a row to the Phillies. Not good, Don. This is a stretch that we said was going to be a little bit of a litmus test. So far, they're failing.
Now, there are a couple of games under 500, which I guess in the grand scheme of things is not awful. You know, they wanted it, this was supposed to be a season where you kind of just hang around, and for the most part, they have. But what concerns me more about Diaz, because, again, it's still early in the season, and he missed all of last year, so I think he can get back to where, at least close to where he was. They don't hit. They just don't hit, Michael. That was not supposed to be the issue. You know, that they should have enough offense, but would they be able to pitch? Well, for the most part, I think they pitched all right. But they don't hit. I mean, they lost today. Phillies put up a couple of runs late to make it more of a blowout of 4-0.
Yeah, 2 in the ninth.
2-0 game. That's a 2-0 game for most of the game. They can't get any big hits. Alonso's not having a big year. Lindor has struggled for the most part. McNeil is not anywhere close to the player that won a batting title a couple of years ago. So they're not hitting. I mean, listen, Martinez came late, and we'll see how that ends up working out. I didn't think they were going to tear the cover off the ball, Michael, but I thought that there was enough offense there. The question was, would they be able to pitch? And if I told you they were going to get the pitching that they've gotten so far, you would think they'd be better than just a couple of games under 500. They'd actually be doing better. But for the most part, it's really been a struggle offensively for them.
Yankees play the Twins tonight, first of 3 in Minneapolis. Twins, one of the hottest teams in baseball. So it should be a good series. That's Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. Let's go back to the calls. Let's go to Greg in Smithtown. Greg.
Michael, Don, Peter, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Comment about the Knicks. I feel like we need to not overreact as much. I mean, Indiana's a good team. Let's call it what it is. And I think that with a banged-up Brunson, OG out, going into Game 4, I think their mentality was just a little different. They tried to maybe take a little bit off Brunson's plate, play a little bit different style of game, and right away, Indiana starts blowing their doors off, and they maybe took an opportunity to say, let's just move forward and look forward to Game 5 and maybe even Game 6. So Game 4 just is what it is. But listening to Hart talk about how none of them are taking that criticism well, they all want to play, they're all in this to win it, and I feel like let's just look at Game 4 as a one-off, and they're all ready to go.
See,
for Game 5.
but I would agree with you, Greg. I would agree with you to a point. It's not a one-off if Brunson's hurt and you don't have OG back. It's not a one-off.
So I think their approach this Game 5 will be different. They took a chance in Game 4 on their approach. Now they're looking at it going, we need to get back to what we did best. And if Brunson is 90%, they can still do that.
See, but again, I respectfully disagree. They didn't start the game with a different approach. They got boat raced. I mean, they couldn't hit 3-point shots. They weren't playing the game any differently. They couldn't hit their shots. It got away from them.
Michael, I don't think anybody is criticizing the Knicks for their style of play or saying they're blowing it. They're hurt. And that's what I'm concerned about. If he's calling Brunson at 90%, do you think he's going to be 90%?
No.
I mean, if that's the case, then he's made a turnaround. I think everything's going to be fine. I think our concern is not approach. It's not coaching. It's not the style of play. It's not that they're blowing anything. It's the fact is, are they physically healthy enough to be able to win 2 more games in this series? And I think that's seriously in question. All right, they got blown out. I don't expect them to get blown out tonight. I don't expect them to get blown out again. But can they win 2 games with a compromised Brunson, with no Anunoby? How's Hartenstein? How close to 100% is he going to be? But mainly it's Brunson, Michael. We're talking about a guy that has carried this team to the 6 wins that they have. and now he might be compromised to where he can't make shots at the same efficacy. That's a problem.
Now, there was a listener who put on social media today, Kay, all he does is say what a great job Leon Rose and his staff have done putting together this roster. Well, if he did such a great job, why do they have such a short bench? And because I don't answer back on social media, I want to pull my hair out. If no one got hurt, they would be one of the deepest teams left in the playoffs. You can't have a 15-man team where guys 10 through 15 are as good as guys through 6 through 10. You can't. Their depth is hurt. They're playing their depth. How does somebody not see that? This is a brilliantly structured team. Brilliantly. Well, what are we doing here? If you don't see that, then you don't know what you're watching.
Yeah, but people keep coming back to the same thing, which is that it does seem to be a recurring theme with Tibbs teams that when they get to crunch time of a season, they're shorthanded and missing some of their best players, which people then attribute to it being the fact that Tibbs plays his players.
But that's one thing. But the other thing is you're criticizing Leon Rose. I mean, Bogdanovich is supposed to be depth.
Yes.
Hartenstein's supposed to be depth. Hart's supposed to be coming off the bench. I mean, what are we talking about here?
No, you add Bogdanovich, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle to this team. It is a vastly different team.
How do people not see that? That's what's so frustrating. You want to know frustrating? Here's Richard in Manhattan.
Hi, Michael, Don, Peter. You guys were talking about Mick Jagger. Guys that looked funny when they were younger, like Frank Sinatra, Phil Rizzuto, Johnny Carson. Man, when they got older, they looked great, those guys. They really looked good. And then you got guys like Marlon Brando and Tom Selleck. They were so gorgeous when they were younger. They never, they didn't look as good as when they got older. Anyway, all right. Peter, you opened up the show, and it's been what I've been preaching for years with you guys. You said a 7-game series has twists and turns. Michael, you got to talk to Rob Manfred. The season starts March 28th. You have 4 days off for the All-Star game. You only need 3. You have so many days off. The first round in the playoffs in baseball must be best of 7. You cannot have teams winning 100 games and going out in 3 games.
Why?
Why?
Stupid. They don't have to lose those games. They don't have to lose those games.
But why does a wild card team get the chance to have a 7-game series to win? Why do they get that? No, it does matter.
Don, you'll make more money. Baseball will make more money.
What do you care about making more money?
Listen, Richard, you just said they have so many off days. They play 162 games in 180 days. They don't have a lot of off days. It's a ridiculous statement.
There's 180 days. But Michael, from March 28th to October 1st is more like 184. And then you got 4 days off for the All-Star game. You only need 3.
What do you mean? Why do you say they only need 3? Why do you say they only need 3? But why do you say they only need 3?
Best of 7 provides much more.
But Richard, you're missing the point. Why does a third wild card team deserve a best of 7?
All I'm saying is every round should be best.
But why are you saying that? Why don't you answer what Don said? Why should a wild card team have 7 games to try to win? Win the games and win the 3 games.
Not to do it. I'm looking for reasons to make. They're already inviting all these other teams in.
I don't want a sport to where you could settle for the wild card and figure you've got nothing to lose. That was the problem when Michael, remember when the division winner had just got 1 extra home game. The wild card team still got a chance to play a best of 5, just like the team that won the division.
Richard, you don't like the best of 3 wild cards? Well, you want that to be what? Best of 7 as well?
All right, Michael.
Wait, answer that. Michael, do you the opening series is best of 3? Is that good enough for you,
Michael?
All right, Michael,
Richard, answer. The opening series in baseball is a best of 3 wild card series. That's too short?
No, that's fine. It's the first series, the big one, where the good teams start playing. That should be best. All right, I won't convince you. Michael, one last thing quickly. You've been looking at box scores 55 years. I've been looking at box scores 62. There is one player in baseball who is so unique, has nothing to do with analytics, has nothing to do with the way the game is being played now as compared to the old days. One player who I've never seen anything like. Kyle Schwarber is a leadoff hitter hitting 220, and he's on pace again for driving in 100 RBIs. We've never seen this in Major League Baseball. Never. Not a 220 leadoff hitter driving in 100 RBIs. I mean, you can go back in the record books even in the 30s and 40s. I'm sure there's never been a player like him.
And he also strikes out a truckload. And the reason you've never seen that is because they never would have allowed it back in the old days. He might not be on a team if he was hitting 220 in the 1940s. They've just changed the paradigm. He's tough to argue with.
You think?
Well, he's tough to communicate with, and that's why he's still single. Because what woman would want to be in a relationship with a man that would shut down any conversation she tried to have with him? And he's looking, Michael.
How do you
he's
know?
Told us because in a what was it, last summer? In a revealing moment, he said that he'd love to get married and have children.
Isn't he like 70?
Listen, Tony Randall.
Yeah, and Tony Randall's dead, and he left his kids without a dad.
But Al Pacino, Robert De Niro.
It's really not a smart choice.
No, but
it's a selfish choice.
It's not going to happen because women want to have a conversation.
Or back and forth.
Not be barked at with stats and stories. Then when you try to contribute, he shouts you down.
And no, and then he says, when Michael really tries to get an answer, he goes, "Forget it, I won't convince you." It would be one of the hardest relationships. Now, Michael, I had a friend of mine reached out to me.
Geoff?
No. A very well-known gentleman in social media, New York Nico. I don't know if you follow New York Nico, but he has a huge account with over 1 million subscribers. Every famous New Yorker follows this guy's page.
So I should follow him.
Yes. In fact, hold on. No, I connected you with Nico when we did the Subway thing.
Oh, yeah.
He was the curator of the Subway thing,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But since then, over the pandemic, his account got gigantic. It's crazy. Anyways, he was listening to the show the other day, and he was intrigued by Richard.
Okay.
And I said...
Oh, yeah, I follow him.
I said, no one's ever talked to Richard. And we discussed the possibility of Nico meeting Richard and trying to get something on the page about who Richard is and the way he calls into our show. The question I have for you is, do you think Richard would ever actually meet a soul and have a conversation in real life?
It's a tough call. I don't know. I mean, to put him on tape,
yeah, to go find the man, meet the man behind the calls.
Well, just make an appointment at his dental office.
Well, what do you look up in the yellow pages? Richard from Manhattan.
Yeah, that's what he goes by, Dr. Richard from Manhattan.
Dr. Richard from Manhattan.
Yeah. You figured out, the yellow pages still exist?
No, I don't think so. I don't
Those
think
were
they
great. Let's go to Carl in Brooklyn. Carl?
How you doing, guys?
Good. What's up?
I got 3 different brushes with greatness that are amazing, and I'll give you the 3 names. You tell me which story you want to hear. I got Dustin Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
I got Robin Williams, a selfie with Robin Williams, and the best one, the Dalai Lama.
What?
Whoa.
Big hit of the llama.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you meet the llama?
It was about 2002. He was doing a crusade in Central Park at the time, and I was working up on the Upper West Side, and I went into one of these cafeteria-style restaurants to eat, and I sat at a big round table by myself. It was the only empty spot in the place, so the waiter said, "Well, sit at that table." As I'm sitting there, it was like right out of a movie. In walks this whole group of monks walking in, all dressed up in their outfits, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I look, and they're all holding the Dalai Lama's book. And as I see them putting down on the
By the way, Michael, not a lot of people know this. The foreword of that book was written by Booger.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no.
Curtis Armstrong.
Yeah, keep going, Carl.
So the book was down and it had the Dalai Lama's picture up on it. So I look at the picture and I look straight across from me, and it's the guy in the picture. And I'm looking down and I'm looking up at him, and he sees what I'm doing. I look him down, and he smiles at me and gives me a little wave.
Would you say hello, Dolly?
I bit my tongue not to say hello, Dolly.
Did you say hello, my sunshine? Hello, my
hello, my right.
Wow.
That was the most.
I think that wave might actually give you eternal life. Do you ever think of that?
Yeah. That is possible, Carl.
Big hitter of the llama.
They got Carl, for you, which is nice.
That could have been Carl Speckler. That was Bill Murray's name in Caddyshack.
That's right. Do you think we were playing?
So we caught on as a looper. Looper, pro jock, a pro caddy.
Is it possible that Carl is jealous of my story about the time I was walking down in Miami Beach, walking along the beach, and I looked up, someone punched me on my chest. I looked up, and it was Dr. Martin Luther King.
You know, by the way, your whole story about seeing Jerry Seinfeld in the wild.
Oh yeah,
it's taken a turn bad for Jerry.
Well,
he's getting some negative press now. He supposedly said something nasty about Howard Stern and called and apologized.
By the way, the Howard clip was not. We can avoid the political part, but the Howard clip was not great. And I understood how it happened. He was having a conversation with other comedians, and they were kind of goofing around. But what ended up coming out was not great. Has Howard responded?
Yeah, today he did.
What did he say?
He said that Jerry apologized. He said, I accept your apology. I've said stuff about people that I regret that I considered friends.
That's a great
He said it was weird. He said because his wife and my wife are really close and I didn't expect it. But, maybe I'm not a comedian. I've always thought of myself as a comedian, but he said I was an interviewer. But, Jerry's taken some hits lately.
Well, I told you guys when I saw him in the park even, Jerry appears to be, and I think he comes across this way in conversation too, he's a prickly fellow. There's no question. You guys remember the famous, who was it, Kesha on the red carpet who ran up and hugged him?
Oh, yeah.
And how, disgusted he was? He's a prickly dude. The energy he got in the park, don't get me wrong, it was super exciting to see him, but I was like, oh, that is a celebrity I would not approach, for sure.
Was he jogging or just moving quickly?
No, he's walking, but he walks in a way that if you were to try to stop him, you'd have to be like J.J. Watt. You know what I mean? There's a power to his walk.
Okay.
He does not want to be stopped, and he does not feel like talking to you. And if you ever listen to Jerry interviews, he just doesn't. I just see so many interviews where he roasts the person interviewing him if they ask something in a way that he doesn't.
Well, did you ever see that interview with Larry King?
He
destroyed Larry because Larry King said, Larry King, never really did research on interviewers.
Mm-hmm.
Just made a conversation.
Yeah.
And he said something like, are you surprised that the show's ending? Larry, do you know what you're talking about? I'm walking away. It's the number one show. I mean, he really undressed Larry King. Rather than be...
That doesn't sound like Jerry suffers fools.
He doesn't. I would put it that way. And by the way, I have such mixed feelings on that because in one sense, interviewers should know their stuff. In another sense, nothing is a bigger pet peeve of mine than people who are promoting something and doing interviews or whatever it may be.
And then they're prickly.
Not only being prickly, Michael, but being angry at you for not knowing everything about their life. It's like, in my case, for example, a lot of times it's musicians, and they get angry that I don't know everything about their record. And especially when I was at my most active with interviews, it's like I'm interviewing 8 artists this week. Everyone's promoting something. This is not center stage, right? Michael would not have a kick coming if an interview comes in to do a thing, his personal show, 2 hours live out of their time in front of a live audience. And you're like, hey, so what was it like working on so-and-so? And he goes, I didn't work on that. That's a bad job. But when someone's on a promo tour, I don't know if I ever told you guys this. I remember the one that stuck out to me the most. This wasn't my thing. It was Seif. When Seif was doing mornings at Sirius, he was supposed to interview Judd Apatow, and Judd Apatow flipped out, wouldn't do the interview because Seif hadn't seen the movie yet. And it's like, dude, can we still have a conversation and promote your movie, even though I didn't get a chance to see it yet? Sometimes, and I did it when I was promoting my album, and I was going on people's platforms. I do understand now that feeling of wanting them to ask you about your thing, but at the same time, man, it's just so arrogant for people to expect everyone to know everything about them.
Are you surprised that Tyson actually likes this guy, Paul?
No.
But then how's it going to be a real good fight?
Well, I think that remains to be seen.
Or is this just a work to make a lot of money?
I don't think it's a work, but I do think it's fair to ask, will Tyson truly let go? I mean, when did you picture a world in which Mike Tyson would be standing at a presser face-to-face with someone? Smiling. And did you see the jokey punch to his stomach?
Yep.
They goofed off. Never pictured seeing that. But maybe, guys, there's part of me that thinks that him being in a good, relaxed, happy place will maybe make for a better fight. And I have faith. But I will say this about that card. That undercard, Michael, the rematch of Taylor and Serrano, that is going to, even if the Tyson Paul fight turns out to be weird, which I think we all know is on the table, given the 30-year age difference, the rematch of Taylor and Serrano is such a gem. I went to the first
Taylor
fight
Swift is fighting Serrano?
No, yeah.
From Major League?
From Major League. That's Taylor Swift versus Serrano with a special appearance by Joe Boo in the corner.
That's right. Jesus, I like him very much.
But no, that when I saw Taylor and Serrano at the Garden, it was the best fight I've ever seen in person. So that rematch alone is going to be a gem. But certainly it was an interesting space to see Mike in at the press conference.
Hey, to hit a home run, everything needs to line up perfect.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Bigelow Tea, who encourages you to grab a mug and tea proudly.
It's amazing to think that my grandmother started Bigelow Tea right here in New York. And today, we're still a family company. And you have to remember, tea, that's all we do. So every cup counts. That means never compromising. My family won't let that happen. And our extended family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow Tea to be a moment just for you. That's what I hope for.
The 3 for Me only at Chili's still serves up bottomless chips and salsa in the drink, but now it's available with the all-new Big Smasher Burger with twice the beef of a Big Mac. Maybe they should change that name. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
Welcome to Golden Nugget Online Casino. With all the slots and table games you love, feel like you're on the casino floor no matter where you are. So download the app, get started with this great offer, and have a great time in your downtime.
Make this a summer to share and save during the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event in the 3-row Kia Sorrento, the tech-forward Sportage, the available all-wheel drive Seltos, or the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus Telluride, each one recommended by Consumer Reports. This summer, visit your local Kia dealer and save. Get 1.9% APR for 48 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged 2024 Sportage and Sorrento vehicles.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
No service member who has put on a uniform and served our nation should be without a home and the services they need. I'm Dave Portnoy, and I'm asking for your help. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation promises to eradicate veteran homelessness across the country so that no service member who has served our nation will be without a home and the services they need. That's why I'm asking you to contribute $11 a month to support these efforts by going to T2T.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
Life is hard, but you guys have to work harder. Okay? No, I do not do it. My name is O'Neal Trinidad, and I want to live.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37.
earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael Kay Show. This look at the Yankees' first game in Minnesota tonight is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. The probables for tonight's game feature righty Chris Paddock of the Twins. He's 4-1 in his first 7 starts this season, his third with Minnesota after spending the first 3 years of his career in San Diego. His last 2 starts against Boston and Seattle, he allowed 1 run over 11 1/3 innings. Carlos Rodon goes for the Yankees, and he's coming off one of his best performances of the season against the Astros. Our coverage commences with the pregame show at 7, followed by a first pitch a little after 7:30. It's the Yankees and Twins beginning a 3-game set. Coverage starting at 7, right here on Yes. And streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
Talk about too little, too late. Tom Brady tells Variety that the Netflix roast, quote, affected my kids, and I wouldn't do that again.
Oh, boy. You know, I got a segment tomorrow morning at 7:20 for you, Mike.
You praise yourself?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He goes on to say, it's the hardest part about, like, the bittersweet aspect of when you do something that you think is one way, then all of a sudden you realize I wouldn't do that again because of the way that it affected actually the people that I care about the most in the world. Makes you in some ways a better parent going through it. Sometimes you're naive. You don't know. I wanted to do the roast because Jeff Ross became somebody I knew. But you don't see the full picture all the time. I'm going to be a better parent as I go forward because of it. At the same time, I'm happy everyone who was there had a lot of fun. I'm a Tom Brady fan.
You are.
Stop yourself, Tom. It's a roast. Kevin Hart's the host. Nikki Glazer is in the rotation. I mean, what did you think it was going to be?
Yeah, see, he's a toolbox. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, he's the executive producer of it. It was a me moment. He wanted to have a me moment. Hey, it'll be cool if I get roasted. I am sure Jeffrey Ross told him everything that's going to happen. He's like, we're bringing in some heavy hitters, some big-time comedians, some big-time roasters. They're going after everything. That's why I never bought the whole, don't say anything about Robert Kraft. Give me a break. That's all covered. But he knew exactly what he's getting into.
Nikki Glazer in several interviews has said that they were told they couldn't go after Kraft. So that's all he cared about. Not his kids, not Bunchen, not Moynihan. All he cared about was the owner of the Patriots. That's it. That's the only guardrails that they had.
What a weird thing.
And I believe that, but I don't believe Jeffrey Ross agreed to it. Like, I'm sure all the comedians were told that, and I'm probably Ross is like, listen, this is a roast. I'm going to do whatever I want. But did he really need it? You can't tell me it's for the money. So he figured he'd have a moment, get a lot of attention, have some fun, and then it got a little crazy. Well, boo-hoo. You're the executive producer. You didn't know it was going to get a little crazy? What were they just going to go after? Just your arm? Your foot? What, your 7 championships? What do you think they're going to go after? They're going to go after your wife. They're going to go after the fact that you got divorced. They're going to go after all the things that they do at every roast. Have you ever seen a roast before?
I liked when the jokes were about me. I thought they were so fun. I didn't like the way they affected my kids.
How did you not think about that?
But Peter, you're the executive producer. If he said, don't go after Kraft, here are the rules. Don't go after my wife. Don't go after my kids. Go after anybody else you want.
It's such a great point. How would you not think, like, hey, you know what? Let's go over the ground rules, guys. Please don't talk about my ex-wife. That thing is very recent, blah, blah, blah. Please don't. It's such a good point, Don. It all would have made sense. It was his show.
The only thing he cared about was Robert Kraft.
And that comes across as like, if that's the case, that's the one person that you were the most concerned with. That's a problem.
All right, so then as it's unfolding, right, why don't you say, I don't want you telling jokes about Bunchen or Moynihan. He never, the only one he got up for was Kraft. That's a weird vibe, man. That's a weird vibe. Those are the mothers of your children.
Well, I'm also starting to think, Michael, because you're hearing stories about that Kraft and Belichick it was really awkward, uncomfortable. There were stories about that people were gathered around Belichick. He's telling stories, and then all of a sudden, in comes Kraft, and everybody left to go Kraft. He must have been such a late addition that it just threw everybody off. Like, I don't think he probably didn't think he was really going to show up. Because it just seemed like everything was off by the fact that he was there.
Weird. I mean, you sign up to do a roast, and you don't expect everything to be available to be ripped. But the only thing that you made any guardrails about was the owner. It's almost ridiculous. It's almost insulting to his children. That's all he cared about was Robert Kraft.
It's so weird, man, especially like so closely removed to your divorce. To know that was such a recent thing, and it really does. I'm sorry, like it gives you a lot of insight into probably why their marriage fell apart. I'm sorry, dude. You seem absolutely clueless.
Very weird. It does not reflect well on him.
Was he really clueless, or is this after the fact?
This might be, you know what's a great point, Don? It might be damage control.
Yeah.
Like Giselle might be so red hot.
Yeah, and that he had to say something.
I mean, you don't think they were going to bring up the jiu-jitsu instructor? You don't think that was going to be a thing? And I watched the entire roast. It affected his kids how? They didn't say anything about the kids. They said the things about the mother.
Right. Which could affect the kids.
Okay, but then don't get roasted.
Well, it sounds to me like, hey, we'll have some fun at my expense. He must not have looked up what roasts are about.
He's a pretty smart guy, though.
Any roast, then what else is it? Then either he was ignorant on the subject of what a roast is, or it's complete damage control. He didn't care, and then when it all got crazy, now he's apologizing for it. Because there's no political correctness in roasts. That's what you do. Comedians they go after these people, and they will bring up anything. And the other thing too, I don't know if I brought this up on the air. When Peter brought up how ridiculous or insensitive it was that former teammates were going after Hernandez, those were all written for them. They're not writing their own jokes. So these are what comedians do. They go after the underbelly of everyone. And so you think they're just going to change it because you won 7 Super Bowls? They went after Muhammad Ali. They went after Frank Sinatra, Michael. So what do you think they're going to do to Tom Brady?
Like, if I got roasted for the third time, they're not going to talk about my big head? Really? They're not going to talk about my wife is on a different level than I am? If Peter got roasted, they're not going to talk about his divorce? I mean, come on.
They did that at our 20th anniversary, and it wasn't even like a real roast.
Right. That's just what happens. Right. If you don't like it, then don't do it. Let's go to the phones.
Shall we?
Mike
Can we?
In New Jersey. We shall and we will. Hello, Mike.
Michael, Don, Peter, how you guys doing?
Great. You?
Good. I want to talk about Thibodeau. I don't think there's anything in sports right now that makes me more annoyed than the whole Thibodeau hate. Because first I want to talk about him as a coach, then the minute situation. People have to understand what he has done since he became coach here. Like this culture that they talk about, that the players talk about, it all started when Leon Rose hired Coach Thibodeau as coach.
Yep.
All these players that he gets, the Precious Achuas, the Hartensteins, the Deuce McBrides, the Hart, all these DiVincenzo, all these players were nice players on other teams, and then they come here and they elevate their game. Deuce McBride was a no-name player last year, and now he is a great role player that should be on this team for multiple years. People are like all these analysts, the Charles Barkleys, etc. All they care about is if you don't win a championship, we're going to bash you. That's all that matters. That's not what the Knicks are about. They made the playoffs 3 years ago. They advanced last year, and this year they're trying to advance even further. So if they lose, let's say they lose to the Celtics next round. As you said, Barkley's going to bash them because they didn't beat the Celtics. It's not about that right now. It's about just moving on to the next round.
No, well, why the whole idea that they're fugazi? Well, listen, I don't think anybody realistically thinks they're going to win a championship, but they're building towards something like that.
Right, and exactly. And as far as the minutes go, I don't understand what people want. As Michael, as you said, all their depth is injured. They would be 9 deep right now if no one had gotten hurt. 9 deep. And Charles Barkley said, now he's playing the players because people are injured. Yeah, that's how it works. What do you want them to come off the floor? Oh, everyone's injured. We're just going to forfeit the rest of our games. That's how it works. It's unbelievable.
But here's the
And
deal,
I
Mike.
love-
They get you any way they want. So either he's playing them too many minutes, or they don't have depth and they're hurt because he's playing you too many minutes. So I mean, for some reason he's not liked. He's not a player's coach. They don't look at him as a quote unquote player's coach. That's what it comes down to. So he's the one who's going to take fire. He's going to get hit by the shrapnel if they don't win. Do people realize how bad the Knicks have been for a quarter of a century?
Yes.
And now the complete different feel about this team. A completely different feel about the team. You don't think he has something to do with that? Stop yourself. Richard Milford.
Hey, Mike, Don, Peter, how you doing?
Good, what's up?
All right, so I'm a Heat fan, all right?
Okay.
And I understand what you guys are saying about load management, Don. You keep blasting about how the Knicks are playing. And I think that you guys are looking at it in the wrong way. The Knicks, people look at the Knicks and they're like, okay, you're playing your players 20 minutes down the stretch. You look at the whole season. Of course you're not playing. They're not killing them in December and January. But down the stretch, in March, in February, where Josh Hart was playing like 40 minutes a game and he's playing 48 minutes a game, that's not normal. Like that, you can't win a championship that way.
But it was done out of necessity, Rich. They lost Julius Randle. He wasn't even going to start Josh Hart. So he went from a bench player to out of necessity having to play. And also, they wanted to finish second. They even played the last game they played everybody. So what do you want them, just bad games?
That's my point, though. That's my point, though. You guys played the last game for what?
To get Game 7 at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
That's why.
But you guys could have gotten Game 7 at Madison Square Garden if you had the 3 seed.
But not if things had broken differently.
They wanted to win. So we're going to kill them for wanting to win every game and to finish as high as they could in the standings. That's what the NBA has become now, that we're going to kill them for trying.
Kill them because of that.
So what are you saying, Rich?
I'm saying that you guys had, like, Deuce wasn't playing that much this year. Precious, he didn't even play that much against the Sixers. Now he's playing. All of these guys, like, I understand that you're saying, oh, your depth is injured now. I understand it now. Yes, now they're injured. But beforehand, they weren't playing at all.
All right, but how many teams go? How many teams go 3 deep at center? So when Mitchell Robinson was healthy again and Hartenstein was playing,
no. When Randall got injured, he's a power forward. He could play some power forward.
But he's not a scorer. They wanted a scorer like Hart.
Hart's not a scorer either.
Well, you know what? He's been scoring an awful lot.
Not during the regular season, Michael. Look at his numbers.
Bottom line is that you can't replace 20. You can't replace 25 and 10. So you got to do the next best thing.
I agree with that. You cannot replace him. All I'm saying is you have other guys that could have.
You think Precious Achiuwa would have been better playing than Josh Hart? And I like Precious Achiuwa.
I think that there's in the regular season. I really do not think that there was that big of a difference between Josh Hart and Precious Achiuwa.
I think you're right.
Josh Hart was shooting 30%.
Well, that's where we disagree. I think there is a difference. There is a difference.
There's only about 2 points a game difference during the regular season, which is interesting.
Sometimes it's not just about stats; it's about presence.
Agreed. And by the way, Josh Hart, more rebounds, better free throw percentage.
Don't forget about the rebounds. How big is that? How big was that?
They've been gigantic.
Series?
They've been gigantic.
But I don't want to have it all be about, well, the Knicks, the worst thing about the Knicks is that they tried too hard. They wanted the 2 seed. Now, did it matter at the end of the day? They didn't know that at the time. I want to applaud teams that are trying to win and not sit there and applaud the Cavaliers who tanked to get the Magic. But I guess that's the way the NBA is, because every analyst is killing the Knicks for being what everybody should want their basketball team to be.
It's unbelievable. They did the right thing, and they're bad for it. They're the ones taking on heat because they did the right thing. They didn't rest people. You know, I had somebody on X yesterday. You know, you said the Lakers, load managed Anthony Davis and LeBron. No, they didn't. They played 70 games. That means they missed 12. How about not missing any? If you're healthy, how about not missing any? There's different levels of load
No, because
management.
it's
That's
been
why.
accepted.
If it wasn't a problem, why did the NBA put in the 65-game rule to win an award? Why? If it's not a problem. The NBA should be applauding Tom Thibodeau.
And stop fooling yourself to think that the reason there's load management is so that you're fresh in the postseason. The reason there's load management, these players don't want to play 82 games.
Yeah. Where are the Clippers right now with Kawhi's load management?
Exactly.
Please. We'll come back right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
At Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, being the Northeast's best cancer center means being the best for you. Pairing the most advanced treatments with the most compassionate treatment. It takes looking at every cancer from every angle. And a care team that looks out for you and everyone you care for. It takes MSK.
FanDuel Casino has your chance at the #1 feeling, winning. Winning ranks higher than any other feeling, higher than number 30. Saying, I told you so.
Told you so.
Higher than number 89, the feeling of catching your car keys with one hand. And number 78, thinking it's Friday when it's really Saturday. New players get 200 chances at winning with their first deposit on FanDuel Casino.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
Big season. More reasons to say yes. Wow. Yes to the ultimate viewing experience.
Aaron Judge crushes one.
Yes to in-game live stats. And earn rewards and win prizes. Get all the Yankees action on the Yes app. Download now.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Al, did you make that call?
Honey, we already have Medicare. Why do I need to call?
Alan, the Feldman said we may be able to get additional benefits with a Medicare Advantage plan right here in our zip code.
Honey, what do you mean additional benefits? We turned 65, we got Medicare. That's all there is to it, right?
I'm talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. We have traditional Medicare, which is only Medicare Parts A and B, but not Part C.
Wait. So not everyone on Medicare is a Part C plan?
No, that's why we need to call, because there may be plans available with additional benefits.
What kind of extra benefits?
If you're losing coverage, moving, or new to Medicare, call 800-820-7593 now to speak with a licensed insurance agent. Give them your zip code and see if there's a Part C plan with additional benefits available to you in your area that may better fit your needs. If you don't have a Medicare Part C plan, call now because there may be plans with additional benefits available. eligible. Medicare plans and benefits can change each and every year. If you're on Medicare, you can call now even if you called last year. If you feel like your original Medicare plan isn't giving you everything you need, call to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan. We will check to see if there is a Part C plan available in your area with additional benefits. You don't get a plan with additional benefits automatically, so call to speak with a licensed insurance agent. Remember, you don't get Medicare Part C plan benefits automatically. Call now for your free 2024 no-obligation Medicare benefits review. If you're losing coverage, moving, or new to Medicare, call 800-820-7593 now. Call 800-820-7593. 800-820-7593.
The Community Food Bank of New Jersey is the state's largest anti-hunger organization. We provide nutrition. We provide support. We provide opportunity. We can't do it without you. Go to cfbnj.org to join us today.
It's time for tonight's Yankees starting lineup on 98.7 ESPN, brought to you by Bigelow Tea and Certapro Painters. Anthony Volpe leads off. He's going to play short, batting second. Right fielder Juan Soto. Aaron Judge in center field will hit third. Cleaning up, the left fielder Alex Verdugo, who's 0 for his last 16. Giancarlo Stanton will DH. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, first baseman Anthony Rizzo. Gleyber Torres, that big home run on Sunday. He'll play second. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching, Austin Wells. Batting ninth and playing third base, Oswaldo Cabrera. Chris Paddock is the pitcher for the Twins, 4-1, 4.34. And Carlos Rodon will get the start for the Yankees. Twins are 24-16, and the Yankees are 27-15. That's tonight's Yankees starting lineup, brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea is a proud supporter of the Michael Kay Show and the official hot tea of the New York Yankees. And Certapro Painters, when choosing a painting professional for your home or business, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose Certapro Painters. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Yvonne in the car. Ivan. What do we got? Ivan, Yvonne?
Hi, guys.
What do you got?
Ivan.
All right.
Ivan.
What's up?
All right. Just a couple of things with Tibbs. You guys touched on it with these load management. You know, Barkley and Shaq are people to talk because they never sat. They play 82 games. These guys played 82 games now. The load management works for who? Everyone does it. Only one team wins. So obviously, I don't think that's an issue. And the thing with Tibbs, the other thing, they're not that talented, the Knicks. I'm going to be honest. But he gets the most out of that talent. That's why I think he does a great job. He's not up there for Coach of the Year. He should have been. Who won it? I don't even know. But they got 3 better players than what the Knicks have. So that's basically it. But they're going to look to run him out of town probably, and I think that's wrong.
You know what? I think that's the way it's going to end up, unless he wins a championship. You know, the owner's probably going to hear all the noise and might be swayed by it. I'm not going to say the end of this year, but that's going to be a fallout of this. And then you're going to get some, like, hippy-dippy coach that's going to want to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
And, you know, what happened when David Fizdale was here? Nothing. It was awful.
Nothing.
So you bring in a players coach. So they keep hiring coaches for LeBron. They keep getting fired.
I'm telling you, Michael, it's a work. Because, again, I'll tell you the dirty little secret with talk show hosts. Always use a narrative that you know in the end of the day it's going to make you look right. Oh, that team's never going to win. Like, it's always easy to attack. Oh, the Jets will screw it up. Well, when they haven't won a championship in over 50 years, it's a pretty good bet. Knicks haven't won in over 50 years, and you know what? They're not ready to win right now. That last caller was correct. They're building towards something here. They weren't supposed to win this year. You're starting to build towards something. But the narrative nationally is going to be, oh, that's a Fugazi team that never wins, and then they'll just jump on that, whether it's against the Pacers or the Celtics. When this team loses, they'll say, see, we told you they were frauds. Because, Michael, bet where you think the money's going to be. But nobody should be thinking about this team as a championship team. They're building towards that. Now, 3-4 years from now, if they don't win and the same thing continues to happen with injuries and falling short, then maybe you might have a point. But right now, he took a team that's been nothing for 25 years and it made it into a legitimate contender that's right now in the infancy of what is going to be, I think, a couple of 2 or 3 kicks at the can here for a championship.
I got to tell you the truth. If they lose this series, I will be very disappointed. I can't just write it off. This is a series they should have won. And I think that they definitely would have won if OG didn't get hurt and if Brunson didn't get hurt.
Right.
But if they lose the series, it would be a real kick in the teeth.
No, it'll be a kick in the teeth, Michael, but you'll have a reason.
Yeah.
Because if they lose, it'll be because you lost Anunoby and Brunson's not 100%. Now, if you tell me Brunson comes back tonight and is lights out and they lose the series, then I could say, you know what, they blew it. But if Brunson can't get a shot off and he's a shell of himself, then I would expect them to lose, wouldn't you?
Yep.
And then I think the narrative would be not that they choked, not that they were fugazi, the injuries finally caught up.
But then the narrative would then switch. They have so many injuries because of Tibbs.
That's unavoidable, and that's the shame of it. Because that was the narrative going in Minnesota, in Chicago, couldn't get it done because his players were too exhausted, too banged up because he worked them too hard. So that narrative, I don't think you can really change. But as far as the overall, the team being fugazi or this team not being real, it's a joke. No, it's just that I think that this is going to end up because of the fact that they're banged up. I think if they're healthy, they would have cruised past the Pacers, and I think they'd lose to the Celtics, but I think they put up a decent fight. And I think right now, Michael, they might have enough to get through Indiana, but I don't give them much of a chance against Boston as compromised as they are.
Let's go to Ryan in the car. Right.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks. I love the show.
Thanks, man. What's up?
I just want to say, I'm a box score guy. I like to look at box scores. A lot of teams are playing 7, 8 guys, and they're playing their starters heavy minutes. I think the Celtics have Pritchard and Cornette coming off the bench. Horford's been, forced in the heavy minutes with no Porzingis. But it's not as big and as an anomaly as people think, like this time of year. And I want to give the Pacers a lot of credit. We have our 1, our 2, our 3, but they're kicking the crap out of our 9, our 10, or our 11. It's not a good look. Too many guys are hurt, but you can't blame Tibbs. It's not Tibbs' fault. He's doing what he always does, and it's just a freak coincidence that everybody got hurt at the same time. So my dream is that we get our team healthy, we get a healthy Julius Randle, and we play the Celtics next year with a healthy Porzingis, maybe the Eastern Conference Finals, and I would love to see that. And thanks for taking the call.
You got it. The Knicks 8, 9, and 10 now are really, they're 11, 12, 13. Mm-hmm. That's what they are. Depth is great until you have to play it, because then that means you don't have any depth anymore. That's exactly what's happened. I want you to point out to me how much deeper they should go than 8. Well, what are we missing? The Knicks are losing out on using Shake Milton.
Poor Shake Milton. Every time you use an example, Michael, you got to go right to Shake.
Because it's such a great name.
I know.
You have to use it.
You have to. But again, we keep coming back to this point in the argument. I do think over time there are moments when Tibbs' lack of innovation with who he has sitting on the bench can feel frustrating.
All right, so let me ask you this, and then we'll go into a break. All right? And I want you to think about this. When did Tibbs have the best team and didn't win the championship?
With Derrick Rose and the Bulls.
But he didn't have Derrick Rose. He got hurt.
Right. Correct.
Well, that's his fault because he played too many minutes.
Right. Okay.
That's going to be their answer.
Anyway, we'll come back. We'll break down the Knicks and the Pacers tonight. Big Game 5 at the Garden, and the fallout from the Rangers losing their Game 5. They're down. They're up 3 games to 2 with the series shifting to Carolina. All coming up right here on Yes and on 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy.
What?
And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too!
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Yes Network is now streaming on Fubo. Watch the Yankees and more of your New York teams. Streaming live on all your devices. Plus, over 350 top channels. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
At Spectrum, we know that internet is a vital tool to help you fulfill your dreams.
My dream is to become a video game developer.
My dream is to get my online college degree. Unfortunately, federal funding for the Affordable Connectivity Program is ending. That's why Spectrum designed affordable internet and mobile solutions to keep you connected. We are committed to delivering reliable, affordable internet and unlimited mobile to keep you connected to what matters most to you.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Finance now or refinance later? Here are 10 tips to make your
Needless to say, your money could be working so much harder.
Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Interest rates will remain at current levels.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye.
You're way shorter than I thought you'd be. There's a shirtless selfie of me by the dumbbells. Here I am. I do air drumming. I'm a competitive air drummer.
Oh, wow.
By the way, I forgot my wallet at home, so sugar mama.
Will you excuse me?
The Hyundai Tucson with advanced tech and safety features. There's joy in every journey. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 3.99% APR, or up to $2,000 bonus cash. Hurry, offers end soon.
That's what I always count on you for.
You know it, Peter. I'm that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Glass half full. Always have been. So, the Knicks, when they lost Game 3, were the same team that got blown out in Game 4. And they were in it until the end after a crazy shot, like a 35-foot shot that broke a tie. They were in it right until the end. And it was the same injury that he's dealing with now that Jalen Brunson was dealing with. It was still no OG Anunoby. The only difference was they were hitting their three-point shots, and in Game 4 they weren't. What tells you that they can't compete the same way in Game 5 as they did in Game 3? Game 3 was a toss-up. You're going to have the Garden crowd behind you, maybe intimidating the Pacers, maybe lifting you up, maybe the 2 inches that you lost on your vertical leap might come back because of the crowd, maybe. I think there's a lot of Knicks fans going into tonight's game thinking that they're going to lose. And I think they have just as good a chance to win as the Pacers. All right, so 1.5-point spread, so Vegas thinks it's essentially even. I get it. But this is the same Knicks team that was gritty and gutty and just played so hard in Game 3. Undermanned, just like they were in Game 4. Game 4 didn't work out. When you hit 16, 17, 18% of your three-point shots, you're going to get blown out. And the Pacers were hitting their shots. Why can't it be different tonight? Why can't they survive tonight and win? Then you put the pressure on Indiana going back to Indianapolis. Now, if you lose tonight, then all the pressure's on the Knicks, and then Indiana can be lifted up by their home crowd. I think the Knicks have a decent chance tonight. The threes have to fall, and somehow Brunson has to find it. I don't know how hurt he is. I think after this is all over, we'll find out. He probably has a broken bone in his foot. That's just my guess. And he's playing through it because that's the type of player he is, the type of guy he is. Can he play through it? Can he be effective? We know he could play through it because he's playing through it. But can he be effective? He was not effective in Game 4. He was fairly effective in Game 3. That's all they need, Don and Peter. Play like they played in Game 3 and hope that a 40-foot shot doesn't fall.
Right. But the only difference is Brunson going to get better, worse, or stay the same? If he gets better, then I think that what you said about what happened in Game 3 can happen again in Game 5. They almost won the game, and he was able to get by. It didn't seem like he had it in Game 4 at all. So what if you get the same Brunson tonight? And what if that's the way Brunson's going to be now?
That might be the case, Tom, because I don't think this is going to get better by playing.
But it won't get better, but just you don't want to get worse, and it's got to be better than it was on Sunday. Because Sunday he seemed like he was really compromised.
But let's say he was compromised. That didn't compromise DiVincenzo and Hart. They were awful.
No,
they've got to be better. If they're better, even if he's compromised, they got a chance. Because he was compromised in Game 3, too. He was compromised. And they were in it until the last second. That's all you need. DiVincenzo has to have a 30 spot. Hart has to score 23, 24, pull down 15 rebounds. You got to hope that Hartenstein's not hurt. That left shoulder looked like it was seriously injured. Let's see what happens with him. Now, if all of these injuries get worse, then they will get blown out tonight. But I don't think they're going to get worse. Just let's root that they're about the same. I don't think they're getting better.
Well, they've got to win tonight. I mean, if they lose tonight, Michael, I can't see them winning the series.
I would agree.
Because then that would be 3 straight losses, loss at home, trailing in a series for the first time, facing elimination for the first time, having to go to Indiana. We were already 0-2, then have to get off the mat, win 2 in a row. I'm not saying it's impossible, but God, why do I just feel like they got to win the game tonight? Maybe I'd feel differently if they say lost in overtime or it was just some kind of gut-wrenching loss, like, hey, we hung in there. We've hung in there in 2 of the last 3 games that we lost, so maybe we can get off the mat. But anything similar that happened on Sunday, then I think they're in huge trouble.
I can't believe how it all turned so quickly.
No, listen, this is what these series are. And if tonight they hit their shots early, you could easily, in a moment, all of a sudden feel great about the series again. It's the same goes with the Rangers and the Canes. I mean, this whole thing is so fluid that you don't want to get overly emotional either direction.
But the thing with the Rangers and the Canes is that it's not because of injury. It's just that Carolina's been the better team over the last couple of games, and you can make the case that they probably deserved a better fate than down 3-0 to start the series.
Well, I was going to say, Don, you're the one.
So you really were. Like the Knicks, if Brunson's healthy and they kind of get going, then you feel good because I think they're better than the Pacers. I think the Rangers are better than Carolina, but maybe just by a little. They were only separated by 3 points during the year.
But you hold on real quick. I would say that the Knicks-Pacers series has basically been dead even. Game 4, I'm not going to give full credence to the level of that blowout because of the situation that it was. I mean, that game got away. The Knicks were injured, tired, and they lost it early. Whatever. I would say, though, overall in that series, basically it's a dead heat, right? Because you could argue the Knicks could have been up 3-0. They nearly stole Friday.
It's true.
So I would argue over the first 4 games, the Knicks and Pacers are basically a dead even. Don, you, through either 2 or 3 games, I think through 2 games of the Rangers-Canes series, you said you could have the Canes up on the scorecards, that they were actually winning that series. So if you felt that way through 2 games in which the Rangers were up 2-0, now that the series is 3-2, I'm sure if you were to go look by period, you might argue the Canes have been the better team over the course of the series.
Hey, listen, they were the favorites going in. Vegas had Carolina as the favorite, and again, they were very, very close during the year. So it's now the Rangers only have to win 1 game.
But that's the biggest difference.
They just win 1 game, and then everything's okay. And they've got 2 chances to do it, although once you get to Game 7, my God, they'll be squeezing the stick. Knicks have to win 2 of the next 3. Now, they've got 2 of them at the Garden. That's why tonight is so huge. If you don't win tonight, Now you've got to win on the road, facing elimination for the first time. And then if you're able to get through that, then have to win the game 7. And not know what's going to be going on with Brunson. And I don't think Anunoby's
I was going to say, is there a soul on earth right now who believes Anunoby's coming back anytime soon?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Michael?
Now
Sunday, we're talking Sunday. Today's Tuesday. Game 7 would be Sunday.
For the record, hold on. Let's point that out for a second. That's a really good point. Because it's a weird schedule. They're taking off Thursday. They skip to Friday. Depending on what happens with the Celtics and Cavs, we'll find out the start time on Friday. And then Game 7 would be Sunday. Let me do the mathematics. That would mean Anunoby would have gotten 10 days from the previous game he played. Like, there's no world in which the hamstring could have been better after 10 days?
According to how much it was hurt. What if it was torn?
Well, if it's torn, we wouldn't know yet if it's torn?
They don't tell you anything.
Yeah, they're not going to let anybody know. Now, he went to Indiana, which at the time, at least I thought was a positive, but apparently, according to the reports, it was just because the medical team was going, so he went with the medical team. So it wasn't a case of that there was any option he was going to play in games 3 or 4. Ruled out almost immediately for game 5.
Now,
so I don't think he's going to be back.
Those that are fans of this show, you have to root so hard for the Cavaliers. Because if the Cavaliers lose and the Celtics series is over, doesn't that make the Knick game at 6 o'clock on Friday?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't want that because that means we leave the air at 5:30.
I won't stand for it. I won't devalue these men.
I mean, leading into that cancels effectively ENN.
Well, no, I think we'd have to do a 5 o'clock.
No, I don't think we would.
Yeah, I think we
No, I don't think you do. ENN's at a 5 o'clock vehicle.
No, we don't even want to hammer the Knick
hear me
game?
out before everyone starts. Yeah, everyone settle down.
You
Jeez
settle
Louise.
down.
Oh my God, Anthony's screaming down the line.
He actually, you could tell.
He got nervous. He got scared. It was almost as if we thought we were starting the Friday show right now. No, you do a Friday. You do an ENN. It's Friday at 5 o'clock. You don't get away from that. You make it a Knick-centric pregame for the game. Knick sound heavy ENN.
Yeah, I don't think we do it.
No, we did calls with Don. Nick's pre-show. We did it in the first round with the Sixers.
Yeah, but Don was by himself that day. It's a different animal here. You know what? What do I know?
Nothing.
What do I
think you honestly, I don't even have to vote because
you know the right thing.
Already, but Kay and Anthony have voted against an ENN. So even if I voted for you,
no, we'd be split.
We all know I don't have a vote.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have a vote?
No.
Well, it's a slightly lesser vote. It's worth 82%.
You guys do what you want.
No, but I think we should take. But if you're going to have a heavy Knick taking calls, then it's not ENN. What are you hanging on to?
No, I agree. No calls.
What are you hanging on? No,
I would say
you can't
audio and
no
conversation.
calls.
Well, anyway, the people are going to be so hyped about that game. You have to take calls. Have you done sports radio before?
I got news for you. There's a reason people consider this the hackiest, schlockiest job on planet Earth.
Who?
There's a reason
Who thinks
we're
that?
mocked. But everyone.
No.
Local sports talk host. It's rat, roach, sports talk host, small bugs, flies, firefly. We're nothing. And there's not everything we've done in the industry has been correct. I'll be honest, I've never once led up to a game and thought, you know what I want to know, Don, right before tip? I want to know what JJ North Carolina has to say about the game.
I never want to know what he has to say.
Exactly.
And apparently, I thought you were wrong. I didn't want to have to correct you, but people on Twitter, that we need, if you want the show to be
you want the
full
Celtics
show,
to win.
You want the Celtics?
Yes, I was wrong. Yep.
You said that wrong?
Yep. So you want the Celtics series to end, so then the Knick game would be at 8. But if the Celtics series doesn't end, the Knick game would be at 6.
I can't imagine.
Weird scheduling.
I can't imagine the Celtics are going to lose 2 games at home in this series. So I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think I have to worry about it.
Celtics have been weird, but I think they'll finish it up. But they have been weird. Whenever you expect they're going to be all good is when they randomly take a night off.
I have the secret sauce for tonight.
What's that?
You ready?
Outscore the opponent.
No. Gird yourself for this.
I'm sorry?
Gird yourself.
I have heard that.
But what does it mean?
What does it mean? It means brace yourself.
Brace,
Okay.
Stiffen up.
But brace.
I think that Madison Square Garden will be very tense tonight, especially at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I think people are nervous. I think they'll be holding their breath, sitting on their hands, whatever. You want to break the dam of emotion? Introduce Charles Oakley right before the game.
I said this yesterday, though. It's unfortunate that
I understand. What do you want? Credit?
He's stealing
or a
it right
chest
in
to
front of
pin
you.
it on.
He wasn't trying to hide.
I mean, but you set it up like you said something novel. I did this yesterday.
No, you didn't say about this specific game, clown.
I said the next time they play at home. You introduced Charles Oakley.
Own the theft, Michael. Own it.
You got to own the theft.
Well, if you listen to the show, then you know it's a collaborative effort. I don't have to give you credit all the time.
Common courtesy, as Peter said yesterday.
Yeah, that's the common courtesy, as Peter said yesterday.
You know what? There's a lot of things that I'm about. Common courtesy is not one of them.
Not one of them. No, you've let that go years ago. But guess what? It doesn't matter who gets credit for it. As we've learned, Michael, it's never going to happen.
You never know.
You think there's a chance that as Chuck Oakley, as I call him, said, I require an apology from Dolan. You think Dolan actually said, you know what, let's just do it? But Michael, don't you think, here's the thing, what does he gain by not just apologizing? What do you gain?
Yeah, because I thought about this. If you're extending the olive branch, then why not just go the full 9 and apologize?
You know what you call it for the Game of Thrones watchers out there? You got to just bend the knee. Bend the knee to Oakley. Guess what? You own the team, bro. You own the team.
Which would tell you he doesn't have to bend his knee to anybody.
But that's the thing. You might as well do it, though.
But if you're going to go as far as to invite him, then why not just apologize? Apparently he invited him, but won't apologize. Then I would have more respect if he just said, listen, I'm not inviting him back. I got a problem with him. We're done. But if you're going to go, if you're going to walk the mile, walk the extra half mile and finish it up.
But I beg the question. Someone tell me, without thinking with just your cojones for a second. Use your brain for a second. You own the team. What's Dolan worth, Michael? I don't know, close to $1 billion?
Oh, over $1 billion.
Over $1 billion?
Yeah.
So you have $1 billion. You own one of the most incredible historic franchises in all of American sports.
2 of them.
And you have 2 of them. You have this that are both in the playoffs right now. You have this former player.
You own the building too.
And the building. And by the way, another building in Las Vegas that I've heard is fantastic. And a television network that does pretty well too. What do you lose by saying, you know what, I'm just going to bite the bullet and say...
Not his way.
And by the way, I've seen someone be that way before, Michael. Mm-hmm. I bet you know who I'm referring to. Here's a hint. He once denied your cookie offer. He was indignant. He was defiant. He was at times willfully ignorant. Remember, he said to the Washington media once, we will never change the name Redskins, and you can put it in all caps. His defiant behavior led to Abdon not only having to change the name, but ultimately led to him losing the team that he loved.
Yeah, but Dolan's in a good spot right now. The Sphere's doing great. The Knicks and the Rangers are doing great. So he doesn't have to bend the knee.
He doesn't have to. No. I'm not saying he'll lose the team or anything like that. He won't. But my point is, sometimes if you really are the rich, powerful man that everyone knows you to be, what does it hurt you to just say sorry? All you're going to do is help your team. Michael, you know how electric it would be? Picture the camera. It hits Ewing. It hits Starks. It hits Charles Smith. All right? Maybe a quick shot on Clyde Frazier sitting courtside. A little Spike Lee. And then all of a sudden it pans over and you see the oak tree. Michael, in a situation with your down players, your star players beat up, you need every bit of help you can get. Bend the knee.
That's a nice thought. It won't happen. Let's go to the phones.
No.
Let's go to Steve in the car. Steve.
How you guys doing? Thanks for taking the call.
You got it. What's up, buddy?
So, all right. So the commentary by Knicks fans and professionals on TV is really starting to seem give me a headache. Is it my imagination, or with about 2 weeks left in the season, were all the teams in the East, all the way down to the play-in, only separated by about 2 or 3 games? And is it my imagination that in the first round of the playoffs, the Knicks barely took those games or won them by a point or two with a few seconds left on the clock? So what do people expect Thibodeau to do? Who is he going to play What margin of error was he playing with? What talent does he have on the bench that he didn't go to, that he could have gone to and give the starting five a rest? People forget 3 of the starting 5 are injured. The bench is on the floor at the beginning of the games, and even the bench.
Well, but Steve, but that's where people are taking the next leap. The reason they're hurt is because he plays them too much. All I would like all the Knick fans, listen, the talking heads, they're going to say what they want to say to get attention. Great. But Knick fans that feel like this, do you remember some of the coaches that you had here? Jeff Hornacek? Do you want me to go through the chapter and verse of the hacks that were on the bench? This is a professional coach who's dedicated his whole life. Do you know that when he was at a small college job as an assistant, he was 2 months away from getting married and called off his wedding because he said he wouldn't be able to really pursue his craft and do it the right way if he was married. Never been married, this guy. It's all about basketball. All about basketball. And this is the guy you're taking on. This is the guy you have a problem with. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Get David Fizdale back.
Because, again, you've put yourself in a situation where you're going to be proven right because the team's not going to win a championship.
But not because of him.
Right, but they'll say that. Oh, well, they didn't win. See, look at everybody getting hurt. There's a very good possibility, Michael, they're going to lose this series. As much as we hate to say it, it's not looking great that they've got to win this game tonight. So they're going to come out of the woodwork. We'll see. That's why Brunson wasn't 100%. That's why Bogdanovich got hurt. That's why Mitchell Robinson got hurt. The typical Tibbs. They don't mention the fact that in 2010 they lost in the conference final in Chicago to LeBron and the Heat. In 2013, second round to LeBron and the Heat. In 2015, Cavaliers and LeBron. So there's a lot of reasons why they didn't win a championship. Rose got hurt the one year, and you're trying to go through LeBron that nobody was able to go through back then. But they've created this narrative, and they know they're going to be right because most times they're not going to win. It's the same garbage we heard about, you'll never win with Carmelo Anthony. Well, not if he's on the Knicks, and Carmelo Anthony had never won, and the Knicks had no chance of winning. Oh, the Jets will never win a Super Bowl. Oh, that's a big, thick limb that you're out on. Team hasn't won since 1968. Don't you see what's going on here? Create a narrative that you know eventually you're going to be right, even if you're right for the wrong reason.
Let's bring back Derek Fisher, 40-96 as a Knick coach. Let's do that. Maybe Jeff Hornacek.
That's who you want back.
What, the Hornaceks?
Get back. Let's. It's been a while since we've said triangle, Michael.
Oh boy,
remember that?
People are crazy.
The triangle.
Anthony in North Carolina. I hope he's not related to JJ. Anthony.
I am definitely not. How you guys doing?
Great, Ant. What's up?
Well, I just look. I got to turn to my guy here, Don, to try to talk me off the cliff a little bit because I'm hearing it down here. A lot of people are starting to believe, and there are some things I'm legitimately concerned about, Don. To see if you follow me, I think the power play disappearing is concerning because 5-on-5, we were concerned about this team for the majority of the year. And Carolina, I think, for the majority of this series, they've kind of had the edge. And the turnover issue, we know that was something that was there early in the year, and now you've seen it. Goudreau turns it over the other day in the first period, leads to a goal. Truva last night turns a bad turnover, leads to a goal. And the other thing that I'm wondering, are you concerned at all? This core, they've been around. They've blown a 2-0 lead in 22 to the Lightning. Last year, they blow the 2-0 lead to the Devils. I know it's 3-0, but are you concerned about that as well, that maybe those issues are popping up again?
Listen, I think you should be concerned because you're going on the road trying to avoid having to play a Game 7, and I think everybody agrees once you get to that Game 7, all the pressure is going to be on the Rangers. Right now, there's still pressure on Carolina because they're the only team on Thursday that's facing elimination. Rangers do have a margin for error, but once you get to 7 and they're facing elimination after being up 3-0, forget about it. The pressure is just going to be unbelievable, and it will take the energy out of the crowd, Michael, because I think a scared, nervous crowd isn't as loud as a team that's coming in confident and a fan base that's coming in confident. But the thing that I'm the most worried about is this power play. If you watch them all year, the most comebacks in the regular season, 4 comebacks so far in the postseason, They did it by a big power play goal, a scary power play that just always keeps them in believing. There was a couple of times last night the power play could have gotten back into the game or put the game away, and they couldn't. They're 0 for their last 8. Since that Trocheck goal in overtime in Game 2, they're 0 for 8. And I tell you, it looks like a shell of itself. And this team goes as far as their power play is going to take them, and that's what scares me. If this power play is going to go cold, then they could be in a lot of trouble the rest of the season.
Now, this was written a couple of days ago on ESPN. A spokesperson for MSG said Charles Oakley has not been invited back to the arena, despite assertions from the former New York Knicks enforcer that he received an offer to return. Oakley told the AP on Friday that he believed there was an offer to join past Knicks players such as Marbury and Sprewell, who've been attending playoff games, but he would not return until an apology was made. The Garden said he was never invited. So, Peter, your idea doesn't work.
Yeah, I guess not. But by the way, was that even necessary to put out?
Because there's no way he'll apologize. He'll think he was wrong.
But here's the thing. Can I ask you, did anybody say anything about the other person's family?
No,
Like,
but I believe that there's a lawsuit going on. So if he apologized, he'd be admitting that he was wrong. He'd lose the lawsuit.
Yeah, if the lawsuit's still active, then you cannot take ownership for anything.
There you go. Hey, if you're like me...
Could you call him, though, and get him to dead the lawsuit? That would be
that's not going to happen. If you're like me, you love to spend time at home.
Growing up, I always wanted to do so many things.
I wanted to be a vet.
I wanted to be an actor.
When I was really little, I don't know why, but I wanted to be a pastor. When I was like a small child.
I wanted to be a celebrity by any means necessary.
This is Spike Drop Vegas Heist.
These players are playing for a lot of money today.
I'm only here for 2 feet. I don't really care about any other place.
Can't even comprehend what is going on, but I like it.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your life, your career, and everything in between that we've uncovered. They're all centered on numbers. Some of the numbers might be familiar to you, but they all add up to tell your story. What do you want fans to think about when they see the number 23?
I wanted to be somebody different on the field, to be just known for baseball.
The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Streaming now exclusively on the Yes app.
Look out for a profit boost on select games and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You're way shorter than I thought you'd be. There's a shirtless selfie of me by the dumbbells. Here I am. I do air drumming. I'm a competitive air drummer.
Oh, wow.
By the way, I forgot my wallet at home, so sugar mama.
Will you excuse me?
The Hyundai Tucson with advanced tech and safety features. There's joy in every journey. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 3.99% APR, or up to $2,000 bonus cash. Hurry, offers end soon.
He knows how to work a crowd. The marvelous Mr. Soto. Oh, long home run for the amazing Soto.
How's the ketchup? Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, just stressed out.
Oh, and the melody is sounding so much better. I can play it for you. Wait, where's your guitar?
I gave it to your cousin.
What? That guitar's like your favorite thing.
I don't need it anymore. Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can capture all the moments that make summer, summer. Like driving a RAV4 to wade in a waterfall.
Nice.
Cruising to play mini golf in a Camry. Or taking a Tundra to the beach.
You're not going to leave me here, are you?
Get a new Tundra or Tundra iForce Max with 1.99% APR for 48 months, plus $1,000 TFS subvention APR cash. Or lease a new 2024 Tundra for just $499 a month.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
FanDuel Casino has your chance at the #1 feeling, winning. Winning ranks higher than any other feeling, higher than number 30. Saying, I told you so.
Told you so.
Higher than number 89, the feeling of catching your car keys with one hand. And number 78, thinking it's Friday when it's really Saturday. New players get 200 chances at winning with their first deposit on FanDuel Casino.
You know, when I take the bike out like this, all my stresses just melt away.
I hear that. This bad boy can fix anything.
Yeah, tough day at work. Nice cruise to sort you right out.
When I'm riding, I'm not even thinking about my painful cavity.
Oh, you shouldn't ignore that.
And every time I get stressed about having to pay my bills, I just hop on the bike, man.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta pay your bills.
You don't have to worry about anything when you're protected by America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
Well, you definitely do. Those things aren't related, so...
Oh, that is a vibrating pain.
1 in 6 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime.
But when it's caught early, it's highly treatable.
For more than 30 years, PCF has funded cutting-edge research. Go to pcf.org/knowyourrisk to learn more about prostate cancer.
It's your life.
We are in the middle of the Knicks playoff preview brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Scout your next teammate with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. All right, let's make picks. I think the Knicks win by 3 tonight. How about you, Don?
Yeah, I think they're going to find a way to just win a tremendous game. Lose game 6 and win in 7.
Wow.
That's all I'm going to say.
How about you, Peter?
If I had to pick right now?
Yeah, we asked you to, yeah.
I don't feel great.
Oh. No.
I don't feel great, but I'm going to go ahead and go against that. And I'm just going to say, somehow, by hook or by crook, the magic of the Garden will hit, and they will win 2 straight and finish this thing off.
You know what? You're saying it, but I don't feel it.
It's a gutless pick.
Yeah, it is, because you feel like you don't want to be that guy.
Get on the air and tell us how you feel. If you think they're going to lose, you're saying. You know
what he doesn't want to be, Don? He doesn't want to be me. He doesn't want my life. He doesn't want my life.
But then what are we doing? Well, then you should have faked it. You should have been a better actor and say, "Oh, I believe." Don't say, "Well, I don't believe it."
How about
but I'm going to say.
Okay. Can I?
No. You disgrace the show.
No. Okay.
You're a pathetic loser.
It's overreaction Tuesday.
No, I'll say this. I'll tell you the one thing I know I mean. I think whoever wins tonight wins the series. That is how I feel.
Well, I like that.
Whoever wins tonight wins the series. That's for sure.
I agree with
that. But we're asking who's going to win, and you give the first of all you give the mucus sniff.
No, because I am nervous. I am nervous for the Knicks tonight. No, you know what? I will take the Knicks to somehow get by and win tonight and win the series. But I'm not going to lie. This is going to have people are going to have hearts in their throats tonight.
And then when they lose tonight, Michael, then tomorrow Peter's going to go on and say, "Listen, I told you, I really didn't feel good about it."
That's the thing. I never felt good. You can tell. It's called hedging.
That is.
Yeah, and there's other words for it too. Gutless is the one that comes to mind.
So,
don't worry, Peter. You are what you are.
But does everybody have? No, you know what? I'm just not a gas bag who's going to give you a strong feeling I don't have. I unfortunately don't have a strong feeling about everything. If I did, I'd be rich like Stephen A. Smith. I don't. Some days I come in and I go, I'm not sure. I'm not going to sit here and lie to everybody about it. I don't have the answer.
You think so? You believe that Stephen A. Smith is always sure?
No, he's saying he makes it up. That's what he's saying. He's saying something much more, much worse.
No, he's a great performer.
No, and I've got no problem with that. But the early indication was you did know, and it was a loss, and you didn't want to own it.
No, that you took that. You took my sheepishness.
Wrong?
You took my
Give the sniff again, Don. When he does the sniff, he's lying.
When did I?
That's your tell.
Yeah, that's your tell. That's why I'd love to play
Really?
poker. I would own you.
Well, ask me a question. Ask me a question about you.
Do you think you're tall?
I do.
Well, now we told you what your tell is.
Yeah, but he tried.
Well, why would I lie about my height either? It makes no sense. Ask me something else.
Do you think the Rangers are going to lose the series?
No, I don't. I like the Rangers. Still going to win. Maybe ask me something about one of you guys.
No, and then let's see if you want to get in the same boat as the Caster. Do you think that Dave Maloney stepping on the call was wrong? Nobody wants to be in this boat. SSK. Nobody does. Nobody has the guts and the innards to make comments like that.
I have to ask about something I care about.
Awful.
Ask me about something I care about.
But that's awful. The cube's on Michael.
No, all he has. Just ask me something I care about instead.
No.
Do you love your wife?
Yes.
Okay, good. You answered right.
You were worried that I go like this?
But it's hard to come up with something that I know you lie about.
You better check in with your wife. She's upset. She's on hold somewhere.
No, now she got disconnected.
Oh, no.
That's the worst.
It's going to be a brutal, brutal night for you.
Yeah, CB2 is...
What is CB2 anyway?
It's a furniture place, and we're dealing with a bed situation.
Oh, it's Crate and Barrel, too.
That's right.
Yeah. Interesting.
So you have a bed situation?
Yeah.
They're setting up separate bedrooms.
Oh, my...
I got to tell you, that's a turning point.
You know what? That's a turning point for a long marriage.
That is not... Really? You think, even a good
Absolutely.
Way? You think it's a good
It's
thing?
a good... People are not meant to sleep together. They're meant to have relations together, but to sleep and snore and like the other one gets annoyed, it's better that they're in another room.
You think it's generally a good sign for a marriage when the people stop sharing the marital bedroom?
No, because I think it's finally an honest moment.
Right. I don't like how you sound. I don't like the gases that are emitted. I'm out.
I would argue that 9 times out of 10, once the people go to separate bedrooms, it's the sign of something bad.
Okay, so let me really lift the curtain. Jody and I start out in bed together every night.
Well, you don't say
Within an hour, she's gone.
Oh, but that's different.
Well, what would be the difference? I even tell her, isn't it better just to start the night outside the room?
No, because Jody, unlike you, cares about the sanctity of marriage. And she knows that effort, showing face to get in bed together every night, that is the difference between good and bad. She doesn't want to just be like, all right, well, good night, and go to separate places.
What's the difference? I'm in separate rooms now. I'm in Minneapolis.
There's a huge difference between giving up altogether on sharing the bedroom.
She can't stand my snoring.
That's great, but every night then she at least gives it an honest try.
But it's
and then leaves.
So what are you doing?
So then she drags her comforter wherever she goes to sleep. She could trip and fall down steps, break her spine. That's not good either.
God, I hope that doesn't happen, but I've never respected her more. She's doing the right thing. I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying we have people listening right now who haven't slept in the same bedroom in years and have a good marriage.
Right.
No question about it. I'm not doubting that. But I am also saying that very often you'll find a marriage that's not good, and you'll find that they found some reason they stopped sleeping.
And you know what? And then you'll find a marriage that's not good, and they sleep all over each other. You know what? A great marriage? Lucy and Ricky. They had separate beds.
No. Well, it's just about being honest.
And then when Ricky wanted to make little Ricky, he jumped over to Lucy's bed. That's the way it works.
Yeah, you're right. If you know when you're right,
they
you're
never
right.
showed that scene.
No, they didn't. That was cut out. Let's go to Lucky in New Jersey. Luck.
Michael, Don, and Peter, what's happening?
What's going on, man?
So I was listening to the show yesterday, and I know you guys were talking about the Pacers series price and how they're favored over the Knicks, although the Knicks are going to be favored in the Game 5 and Game 7.
Right.
So this afternoon, I wrote an article about this. I actually used Don as the little logo. And Peter, if you remember 2 weeks ago, I wrote an article about you.
Oh, yes. It was very funny.
Yes. So I explained the whole thing, the whole breakdown and everything. Basically, what it means is every game with the point spread has an implied odds probability. So with -2.5, the Knicks should win like 54% of the time. And if you have the Pacers in Game 6 favored by 7.5, they should win by 75% of the time. Basically what you do, you add up all those probabilities, divide them by however many games you have, and that's the implied probability to win the whole series.
Okay.
So 54% of the time, the Pacers should win this series. And basically what it means is the Pacers are they're 75% chance to win Game 6. Odds are they're going to win that game, which leaves them to win one game at essentially a 50-50 matchup, Game 5 or Game 7. And that's why they're favored over the Knicks in the series.
I'll let you do a promo. Where do you write these stories? Where can they be read?
So I just started a website. It's called Better Than Lucky, betterthanlucky.com. I have my Twitter, too. It's Better Than Lucky, and better is spelled B-E-T-T-O-R. I appreciate the fact that you
now,
would let me
are you
get a promo in.
Are you in fact lucky in life?
I am very lucky in life. I have a house. I have a great girlfriend. We're probably going to get married pretty soon. She's floating around right now. It's not my real name, but I have a regular job. I kind of don't want to mix the two, to be honest.
Right.
No, it's kind of something I want to. It started off as a side project, and maybe I can turn it into some kind of career.
Good. No, I hope it works out. Good lucky.
I don't know how I feel about the picture, though. What did you see?
I didn't see it. No, what's it look like?
I think I look okay. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Did you see it, Peter? Punch it up.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Kendrick Perkins just tweeted out, haven't been in the garden since Moby Dick was a goldfish, but darn it, the governor is in the building tonight. Carry the hell on, he said. Kendrick Perkins at the garden tonight.
I'm going to look for him.
Oh, you're going too? That's right.
Oh, yeah, he's going. Yeah.
All right.
So you don't have to deal with the furniture company.
No, I want to, though, because I want to help out, but I'm being an ineffective partner right now. But that wasn't the issue, by the way. The issue was our bed has a fundamental flaw in it. The design is wrong. I tried to get multiple people to fix it. They can't fix it. There's no fixing the damn bed.
What's wrong with the bed? What could be wrong? What could be a fundamental flaw of a bed?
Yeah. What's going on?
So the bed is held up on these four little posts, right?
Yeah, they're called legs.
But they're not real legs, though. That's what you're saying. It's a platform being held by these very thin posts, or legs, if you will. But they're not quite legs. And the way the design is, there's a looseness to the screws, and the posts just slightly go out constantly no matter what you do, which then all of a sudden your mattress is now being pressed against a bar in the middle, and it's incredibly uncomfortable to sleep.
Well, maybe you two are rocking the bed a little too hard.
Yeah, I think you got to just...
Yeah, that sounds like a new marriage problem.
I would love to tell you that's the reason that this is happening, but it's not. It just happened. It happens no matter what. The other day, it was fixed temporarily. I put my foot on the edge of the bed for a second. Boom, gone, ruined it. It's a piece of crap, is what it is.
Wow. Let's go back to the phones.
I don't think we can.
Let's go to Roger in West Islip. Raj.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Not much. Listen, I got to give Coach Tibbs some props. I mean, I think he's definitely overachieving with this team, with all the injuries, and I think that did one piece away from a championship. I really do believe that.
I tend to agree. That's why, a previous caller said, all I want back is Julius Randle and everybody healthy. They wouldn't win a championship with that either. They need a verifiable superstar. You can say, well, they had that with Brunson. They need another one. Julius is a level below that. They need another one. They need Kevin Durant to say, I want to play there. They need somebody of that ilk to say, that's where I want to go.
You don't think with a healthy Randall, this whole team healthy, that they couldn't compete for a championship?
I don't think. I think they could maybe compete with Boston. Milwaukee's going to be better next year.
Okay.
You have Doc for the full season. If Embiid's healthy, Philadelphia is going to be better. I don't think that you could beat one of the teams in the West. I don't think that you could beat the Nuggets. I don't think you could beat the Timberwolves. Oklahoma City's only going to get better. So, no, I don't think it's enough. I think they need one more transcendent player. And although I always sing the praises of Julius Randle, he's not transcendent. He's just not.
Well, He might have been transcendent on this team right now. His availability
be huge.
Might have been transcendent.
But they still wouldn't have beaten Boston, Peter.
I don't know if it'd be as much a foregone conclusion as you make it out to be if they were 100% healthy.
I mean, the Celtics got lost by 30 at home to Cleveland.
It happens.
I get
it, but they haven't done anything yet.
So, like the Knicks plus Randall, I don't know that I rule them out in a series against the Celtics. I don't think I can.
Anthony Greek just sent me this bit of research. In 2017, a study conducted by the National Sleep Foundation, the last time a study was done, found 25% of married couples sleep in different rooms.
I think as you get older, it becomes inevitable because times are different. You want to get some sleep. But when you're like, I want to sleep with you, that's not sleep.
No.
But actually getting sleep.
That's hooking
I'm
up.
sorry. As much as I love my wife, if for some reason she got up and went into another room, I'd feel free.
Yeah, because you're holding stuff in when your wife is there and.
In the middle of the night?
Of course. I'm always conscious. I don't want to,
You're holding in the middle of the night?
I don't want to Dutch oven her.
Dutch oven? But your wife sleeps under the covers? What, is she scared of you?
And if you're asleep, Michael, what do you have that kind of control?
You know what? The sad part about me and why I'm always exhausted, I'm never totally asleep.
Well, that's a problem.
Of course it is.
In the middle of the night, while my wife is dead asleep, whatever's happened has happened.
Well, you're a disgusting pig.
Well, no, but he's also married.
No. By the way, I am someone who fully believes in respecting the sanctity of marriage and not just letting loose at all times. I believe in keeping up appearances. But while she's sleeping, and I know she's dead asleep.
Yeah, but if you let some gaseous fumes out, the smell would wake her up.
What are you eating, bro? I mean, what do you mean?
What do we know? We know there's 3 things he ate. So which one of the 3 would cause that?
I had chicken breast. Like, it's not that bad. It's going to be just fine. What's going on?
Do you have any broccoli?
Most days, no. But on a day like that, but so bad that it wakes her up out of her sleep.
It might. Try it tonight. Try it tonight.
I mean, who is she, Yosemite Sam? She's waking up to a smell? I mean, what the hell is going on?
Well, I've got some advice for you, Peter. You ready for this?
Sure.
Don't be the guy with the T-shirt on in the pool this summer. Don't do it. Contact NJ Diet today, and you'll be able to feel confident. We all want to feel safe when traveling. That's why if you see something that feels suspicious, such as an abandoned bag or erratic behavior from a passenger, just call 911. You can call anonymously, and it's okay if it turns out to be nothing. Work together with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to keep our transportation facilities safe. Visit PANYNJ.gov to learn more.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP on select GMC Sierra models. We are professional grade GMC.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me. So did I. What's yours? I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun. Right. So what's your system? What's that? Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Big season. More reasons to say yes.
Wow. Aaron Judge crushes one.
Get all the Yankees action on the Yes app. Download now.
He knows how to work a crowd. The marvelous Mr. Soto. Oh, long home run for the amazing Soto.
Diversity is in our nature. Diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk now more than ever before. And our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
I'm former Major League pitcher Andy Pettitte. I teamed up with Tunnel to Towers after seeing their life-changing work with military and first responder families. Now we're expanding our mission to help veterans struggling with homelessness. We want to help them rebuild their lives not only by giving them a home, but by providing the services they need. Please join me in donating at t2t.org.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nanny gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay, and how fast you can get started.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael Kay Show. The New York Rangers had the Carolina Hurricanes on the ropes and seemed to be about ready for a TKO, taking a 3-0 series lead. But the Canes have gotten up and stated very loud and clear that they didn't hear no bell. The Rangers took a 1-0 lead into the third last night, but Carolina scored 4 unanswered goals in the final period to stave off elimination once again, and the series will now shift to Hurricane country for a Game 6 Thursday at 7 o'clock. Jacob Trouba gave the Rangers the lead with his first goal of the playoffs, and the Rangers' offensive attack disappeared thereafter. The Canes were 0 for 3 on the power play, dropped to 1-20 in the series. They were second, only the Tampa Bay Lightning on the advantage during the regular season.
I didn't get one last week. Not one worthwhile thing.
What does that tell you? Do you think they're against you?
That's right.
Do a better job.
No, I know it's not. I know it's not that I need to do a better job. Can't do a better job. I've done as good a job as can be done.
We're going to do the rare caller for a sponsored segment. Time for the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. We'll go to Chris in Port Washington.
Why not?
Chris.
Hey,
right
Michael.
on topic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Good.
I watch your show every day. You guys are great.
Thanks.
I have a proposal for you. I just want to get your thoughts. When Garrett Cole comes back, this is my thought. This is a variation of the start. What do you think about having Stroman go 5 innings and Heel close out the game with 4 innings? It solves a bunch of problems. Number one, Heel is innings limit. Stroman is a great pitcher, but, you know, he's older. So to keep him through the rotation for the rest of the year, you limit his innings for five innings. And the bullpen only has to support 4 pitchers instead of 5. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a creative thought, Chris, but Heel does not have an innings limit this year. They said just because he didn't. No, they said they've changed what they've thought in the past, where if you didn't pitch last year, you can only go 40. They'll go back to the years when he threw the most innings and go from there. I mean, they changed the rules the way they want. I was thinking that when Cole comes back, and Cole's not close to coming back yet, probably going to be at the end of June if everything goes well. Maybe go with a 6-man rotation. Because who amongst those pitchers would you take out of the rotation? Cole's going in when he's ready. Stroman's pitched well. Heel's been great. Rodon's been great. And Nestor Cortez has been great at home, and he struggled on the road. So, I'm loath to sit here and try to figure this out because somebody's going to get hurt. That's what always happens. These problems, they end up fixing themselves. I don't know if I would piggyback Heel with Stroman. I don't think, because if Stroman's rolling and goes 5 innings and he's throwing 70 pitches, why would you take him out? Just because you're dedicated to bringing in a Heel? I think Heel deserves to stay in the rotation.
I wouldn't describe Stroman as getting old, would you?
Well, the guy who's coming back is older than him. Stroman's 32, and Garrett is 34. That's the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. For pain-free life, visit SamwellPain.com today. Let's go to James in Massapequa. James.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
How you doing, James?
Doing good. Love the show. Just wanted to tell you, I think I got a really good In the Wild story.
Let's see. Let's hear.
So I work at Belmont Racetrack, and across the street, there's a little deli that a lot of people go to. As I'm walking in one day, I see this guy outside. I'm like, man, he looks familiar. So I go behind the counter. I talk to the guy, Dave. I'm like, yo, Dave, is that Bill Parcells? He's like, yeah, he comes in from time to time, blah, blah, blah. So as I'm talking, my buddy that's with me is like, who's Bill Parcells? Oh. I'm not very quiet. I know, right? Exactly. I'm not quiet. I'm loud. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know who Bill Parcells is? Go Giants. He's a legend. So then we go order our food. When we come up to pay, the guy, Dave, was like, hey, James, Bill Parcells got your lunch.
Oh.
I was like, no way.
That's nice. So first of all, it's a great In the Wild. Second of all, you're no longer friends with this guy, right?
Well, I had to teach him and let him know, but you know what it is me and Bill Parcells are now friends because he bought me lunch.
Forever friends. That's a good In the Wild.
100%.
That would almost be like when Peter saw Jerry Seinfeld and they sat down on a rock in Central Park and started telling jokes to each other. But that didn't happen.
That didn't happen, unfortunately.
No, he's gone. I want to know, was it his friend fancy himself a sports fan? He's not a
it has
sports
to be
fan.
no.
Then I can't kill him for not knowing Bill Parcells.
But how many friends do you have? Because we're all into sports that aren't sports fans. Not many, if any.
Well, I have friends that are maybe casual sports fans, but they still know who Bill Parcells was.
No, the one person that I'm close with that doesn't like sports is my wife. But every one of my friends is a sports fan.
Now, would Jody know who Bill Parcells was?
Yes, of course. Yes. Oh. She's not dumb.
Oh, so you're saying that the person?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am.
Dumb.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
You live in the city. The guy's a legend. Won 2 Super Bowls here, and you don't know who Bill Parcells is? You dumb. No, dumb. It's the only answer.
Dumb is strong.
That's strong.
Because maybe he's just a fan of opera, maybe movies. If you're not a sports fan,
everybody knows who Bill Parcells is. He bought the guy a sandwich.
Well, those are 2 very separate.
I know, but that's why he should be known by everybody.
Because of things like the sandwich buying.
The sandwich maneuver, I call.
The Parcells, as it's known.
It's called the Parcellulite. Anyway,
it's the move.
When we come back, ENN with Peter. It's going to be great. Stick around on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Summer is around the corner.
Put your plans in motion with great deals at the Ford Memorial Day sales event. Go places near and far, on-road and off-road. Bring your friends and all your toys. You've got the plans. We've got the deals. The Ford Memorial Day sales event. Get a head start on summer. Right now, returning lessees can lease a Bronco Sport for just $289 a month for 24 months. Only at your local Ford stores.
Yes Network is now streaming on Fubo. Watch the Yankees and more of your New York teams. Streaming live on all your devices. Plus, over 350 top channels. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. If I had a day that I could give you, I'd give to you a day just like today, yeah. Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
From medium rare to well done. So many ways to save. Life ready, wallet happy. That's 365 by Whole Foods Market.
Step into the world of Golden Nugget Online Casino. With all the slots and table games you love, feel like you're on the casino floor no matter where you are. Score rewards by playing your favorite games and get your winnings almost instantly with lightning fast withdrawals. Go! So what are you waiting for? Have a great time in your downtime. Download the Golden Nugget Online Casino app and get started today with this great offer.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Big season. More reasons to say yes. Wow. Aaron Judge crushes one. Get all the Yankees action on the Yes app. Download now.
What if you went to your secret hiding place and found this? All drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, know that you can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Or go to samhsa.gov/knowtherisks.
Hi. Welcome to ENN. Ray Rowe.
On Tiwi.
Tonight's ENN, of course, is brought to you by Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisi and
Get some!
Yeah!
let's say good evening to Michael.
His face is just more craggy. Craggy.
Let's say good evening to Michael.
You dumb.
And to Michael and Don.
Listen, Tony Randall.
Yeah, and Tony Randall's dead.
It's a good day for Michael.
And to Don.
Well,
there you go.
Well,
there you go. And good evening to myself. There's no rules in the airport. You could do heroin legally. To Lewis in New Jersey.
Hey, that's me, the shower guy.
And to Don and Lewis.
I believe that your wife is at least 20 years your junior.
No.
Broken.
Oh, boy. I love that one. So, guys, I don't know if you're aware of this. We haven't mentioned much about football today.
Why not?
Schedules dropping tomorrow night. You kidding me? And cut the tension with a knife, can't you?
But we're getting a little trickles.
Oh, you know how they do. It somehow just like leaks out bit by bit.
Yeah.
Like an old man urination at 3 a.m. Just a little drop here and a drop there, but you got to keep getting out of bed. So we found out that the Jets will play in the Monday Night Football opener on September 9th for the second straight season.
Did Aaron Rodgers talk to Tucker Carlson about that?
No, Michael, but he did confirm that he's going to mix things up this year, and he's going to run on the field carrying a Russian flag, which I think is going to be...
too soon.
Well, it's September 9th this year, so it's fine. Don't worry. It won't be anything too offensive. No, he didn't mention... I don't know if he talked about it with Tucker Carlson, but he will be leading the Jets onto the field to play the 49ers. That's sort of the underrated part of the story. Not what you want. Just speaking on behalf of all people who root for a team in the NFL... Do you ever look at the schedule and go, you know where I hope we open the season? At SF. Well, that's what I'm looking for.
Well, but John Winthrop, our pinhead suit, had a very interesting glass half full look at that. Because I thought the same thing. Like, even if you're going to be good, it feels like you're going to start 0-1. And he says, no, get it out of the way. You know you're playing the 49ers. You know you already have them on the schedule. National television. If you win, whoa, what a statement. If you lose, well, you're supposed to lose the game.
See, but I look at it differently. That's when you want to catch the 49ers before they really start to click.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if it's midseason, they're gonna steamroll you probably. You got a chance in the first game.
And also, you don't want it. Let's say it's in Week 16 and it's a must-win situation. And you're going to San Francisco. I mean, it shouldn't hurt you. It's a non-conference opponent, and you can get up from a Week 1 loss. But if you had the 49ers in a must-win situation, an elimination game, that wouldn't be good either. So,
and also the drama. Aaron Rodgers playing against a team that he wanted to play for, and they didn't select him.
And where did Aaron Rodgers grow up again?
Northern California.
Oh, boy. It's rich. Rich. Now, real quick, does that mean, pardon me if I missed this part of the story, I looked at it, I didn't see it. Does that mean that they're the latter half of the Monday night?
I don't think we do the doubleheader in Week 1 anymore.
They moved that to Week 2.
I believe so.
How about they move it to Week Never? Because it's the dumbest thing ever.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I love football. I never participate in the full doubleheader of Monday night.
Well, you host a morning show.
Well, it's not even that. Sometimes now they're up against each other, too. It's just...
Yeah, that's what they did.
Dumb.
Yeah, they overlapped it. Yeah, I don't get it.
There's some other interesting things to the schedule we learned. Like NBC has been given an NFL game to run on December 21st up against the college football championship semifinal.
I wonder if that's a good idea. Because it really depends
on the game.
What game is the 21st? Do they have that?
What week?
No,
what is the game?
What is the game?
I don't know if that's out.
Because if you get, let's say you got the kind of game that you got on the Black Friday game, where it's the Jets and the Dolphins and no Rodgers, and the game was kind of nondescript and it wasn't a good game, and you get a semifinal of, let's say, Notre Dame, Michigan. You don't think there's a chance the college football beats the NFL? I think an excellent chance.
No.
I do. I agree.
Michael.
No, Michael. You got to come back to us.
If you get tennis, I don't know what the game would be.
Now, wait a second. Let me get, is Caitlin Clark playing for one of the teams in college football?
Michael.
No, it's not.
No, Michael.
Never beat the NFL.
Tap out.
No.
So you're telling me, so this is December 21st. So this is like what, week 15, 16? And you get a game of two teams that might be mathematically eliminated. and you get a college football semifinal playoff game, Notre Dame, Michigan, the college football's winning.
Yeah, I can't believe,
get
you don't think that, Mike?
No, because they're not going to give it. The NFL's too shrewd. They're not going to give a bad game.
Well, but sometimes they thought Jets-Dolphins at the beginning of the season was a gorgeous, delectable.
And one of the teams was a fun team to watch.
Right, but then the Jets were pretty much out of it with no starting quarterback, with Zach Wilson as the starting quarterback, and it was an ugly game. I'm not saying any game. Obviously, it's got to be the right, massive matchup in college football, but we're going to be talking about a playoff game, and if it's involving two schools with massive fan bases going up against I'm sorry, I love the NFL too, but you do
it's LSU,
sometimes
Michigan.
Forget it. But sometimes you get some of these pedestrian, banged up, out of it teams playing each other.
Let's just, you know what though, I did just have a realization. Wow, that was one of those big Don gulps. When you go for it,
but that's
sometimes
water. You got to drink water. You got to hydrate.
No, but you also squeeze the bottle. You do it, Michael. Why do you never complain to him? If I jiggle an ice cube, I get yelled at. Don
maybe Michael didn't hear it.
Don, Michael, you didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that. I heard your
Earlier
ice
you heard
cube
one.
situation, like the Titanic rammed an iceberg.
You know, that's crazy. Earlier, he had a bigger one, a big gulp and scrunch of the bottle. Anyways, I did have the realization earlier that we are not going to have a week this year, no matter what. There's not going to be a week when we're going into a Jets game and Zach Wilson's the starting quarterback. Just take a moment. Everyone, just take a moment. Think about it.
It's Denver's problem now.
You will never have a week where we have to sell you on a Zach Wilson game. Oh,
Well, we never have to sell the Jets at all anymore.
That's what I thought he was going to say. We're never going to have a show leading into a Jets game.
Jerks for leaving us.
Wow, so you're going there?
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
20-year marriage, you break up. Why?
Sleeping in different beds.
It felt mutual.
No, I don't think it was mutual.
Well, let's play a song we all can agree on. Some joy to get some joy from, shall we?
We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York
Sing along, everyone.
We are the New York Knicks.
Go, New York, go, New York, go. Say, go, New York, go, New York, go.
We're back on track on the floor, scoring Morris 94, and the Knicks are hard.
By the way, first round college football, not semifinals. First round.
How many rounds are there?
There's a bunch now. They've added teams.
It's 8 teams.
They can't help themselves. It'll soon be 20.
Oh wait,
it'll soon be what, like December Madness.
I didn't realize that's this year. They're kicking into 8.
Yep.
Yeah. It'll be 12 before you know it.
It might be more than 8. I'm not sure if it's just 8.
Wow.
It's going to be 12.
All right, you want to talk some New York Knickerbocker basketball?
Do it.
I do want to ask you one thing, basketball-wise, not about the Knicks.
Okay, go ahead. I'm here.
What's LeBron doing last night? What is he doing?
What do you mean? He's taking a game.
He doesn't live in Cleveland.
Well, no, his family's in Cleveland town.
He lives in Akron.
But he flew in from Los Angeles to do that. For what?
Well, how do you know he didn't have other plans? Maybe he was stopping by the LeBron James Museum.
Yeah.
No.
His library.
It seems a little odd. Even Wendy said that people around the NBA were like, they were
Michael,
tweeting it, texting him and go, what's he doing? What's he doing?
Michael, I might need you to apologize here.
Confirmed 12 teams, by the way.
12, thank you.
right.
Oh, he's a Charger now. Oh, no, he's a Ram.
It'll be 64 by
the way,
27.
by the way, if they can make it 264 and add high school teams, I still won't care.
Well, that's terrible.
Now, real quick, Michael.
Yeah.
You might have to apologize.
About what?
He was in at home seeing his mother for Mother's Day on Sunday, and he took in the game the next day.
Like a gentleman.
So Savannah went to go see her mom. He went to see his mom. They bought a bottle of wine, and they took in the game like gentlemen.
Every time I see Glow, she's in L.A. with him. His mother.
Glow. Maybe Glow wanted to be. Is Glow's mom around? Maybe he was with his grandmother too. We don't know.
Gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
So he went back to Cleveland to be with his mom for Mother's Day, and then decided to take in a game.
Why wouldn't you?
You want to spend the day with your mom?
Well, it was Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, good point.
And also,
we worked that out. It was good.
And also, can't we also just, I appreciate not having to play the reindeer games with LeBron. Like, let's just all face reality. He's a Cleveland Cavalier. Like, I know he currently wears a Lakers jersey, and that's who pays his check right now. But you know when it's all said and done, he's a Cleveland Cavalier. He's there supporting his team. Now, yesterday I did the Over the Top podcast with Michelle Beadle, wherever you can find podcasts, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
And Bronny came up as a subject here. She believes with 100% certainty Bronny will be drafted by the Lakers this year.
I think she's right, or wherever he plays.
We will get Bronny and Bron.
Second round?
Well, that's what I said.
Well, day 2 of the draft?
Well, here's the thing I don't understand. The guy didn't get any daylight at all at USC. None.
Very little.
There's not another human being who's ever played college sports that would be leaving after 1 year. What did he average? 5 points a game? That could not crack USC starting 5, and he's going to be drafted by an. Don't tell me that's not. I mean, he looks like a nice kid, but that's nepotism at its finest.
Well, I mean, you think?
Well, the G League team will probably get a little bump from him, right?
But I don't think that's what LeBron wants.
But hold on,
but he's got to. I mean, if he wants it to work,
he wants to play with his son. That's what he wants.
I can't wait to see though, when Bronny is 43 years old, and writes his biography.
That would be autobiography if he wrote it.
He will, to hear what his thoughts are on all of this, because maybe it's all he wants in the world, but there is so much set up for disaster here. Like, I get it. It's a fun idea that they play together, but like, shouldn't it ultimately be on LeBron to somehow be magic enough to stay around long enough to be able to catch Bronny if he makes it there with the natural course of things?
See, that's the thing.
This isn't right. Like, he's not ready. He's going to end up burning out. He won't make it.
It's only a story if it
was real.
If it's real. If you're going to fake it and it's a joke.
If I were Bronny, you know what I'd do?
You tell him to shove it.
No, I'd go to Arkansas and play under Calipari, who will teach him how to be an NBA player.
Well, but here's the question. So why isn't that the conversation? LeBron knows that's possible.
Because
why not just do
LeBron
that?
wants him to play now.
But then I would say, hey, Dad, do me a favor. First of all, LeBron is still at the. Would we say it's overstating it to say he's at the top of his game?
Yes,
he's
that's
still
overstating.
near. Can we say he's still near the top of his game?
He's still a great player.
He is still a great player.
Yeah, he's not. He's got a couple of years left.
So,
right?
But maybe he just doesn't want to play anymore.
Well, but okay. Well, then sorry,
Then it didn't
Dad.
work out.
It didn't, you got to wait.
What are you going to do?
So here's the deal, Dad. I need to play. And by the way, I'm not suggesting Bronny have the ability to do this, or that I would have the gall to say this to your dad when your dad is god of basketball. But I'm just saying, from the outside looking in, here's how I view it. Screw what Bronny would say. Here's what I would say, little Bron. If I was LeBron's best friend, brother, or parent, I'd say, LeBron, if you want your son to play basketball with you, then you're going to have to deal with the fact that he may play with you when you're a role player who's playing 15 minutes a game. But if he's not ready, don't force it so it's nonsense.
Well, he'll claim that he's not forcing it. That it's Bronny that wants to do it.
But you just made the point, Michael. No one goes to the league when they've played this little and performed this, I don't want to say poorly, but have accomplished this little in college basketball.
And this poor kid had a heart problem. I mean, really, he had to be cleared medically by the NBA. Why are we pushing this poor guy?
I just wonder whether it's Bronny's. Maybe Bronny's the one who's desperate to do it. Maybe Bronny doesn't think he's going to make it as a pro and is like, I just want to get this moment and I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fine line between a great story and something that's just forced and just not right.
If I found out it was the opposite one day and that deep down Bronny knew that as amazing as he was in high school, he knew he was never going to dominate the NBA. So his goal was like, hey, I want to play a couple seasons with my dad, and then I'm going to help run his companies. Like, I'm not going to do... I take no issue with that. But if the goal is really that, like, you think you can make it in the NBA, I don't think this is the path there. I don't.
It would be like Bronny saying, I don't want to do this, Dad, would be like you walking to your father and going, you know what, I'm not really high on McGovern. Same effect.
You mean telling my dad I'm not going to work for the McGovern campaign?
Right. I don't feel like I don't feel politically like you do, Pop.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
McGovern, Democrat, for the people.
Wouldn't be good. You dumb.
Mike Greenberg, a.k.a. Greeny, has some concerns about Tibbs.
Tom Thibodeau is a basketball coach. That's an evolutionary process. The game changes, you change, players change. You constantly have to evolve the things you do. Like there was a time when all Tom Thibodeau cared about was defense. He was the defensive coordinator of Doc Rivers' championship Boston Celtics. Your philosophies have to change and adapt to the way the game is played, the game is officiated, the game is called. Nick Saban's coaching ethos was, we're going to beat you with smothering defense and running the football. And then what happened? The game changed, and he changed with it. And suddenly, they became wide receiver U, and his quarterbacks are now basically on every team in the NFL.
Well,
What's his point?
Tibbs has changed too.
Oh my God! Why is this happening, Michael? Why is this happening?
Go ahead.
The best part of the Knicks is going to become the thing that everybody's going to kill. They are so well coached. He's a great coach. He has them playing at a great level, and now he's got to adapt. Adapt to what? The way the NBA, the worst part of the NBA?
All they do is shoot threes. So he has adapted.
So we've created. So I guess everybody thinks the Knicks are going to lose, and now before it happens, we're already going to place blame.
I want them to win so badly the next two games.
Usually we place blame after the fact, but now we're placing blame before the fact.
Nobody said a word when they were on their little run. No one when they finished second. No one. Michael, they've forgotten how bad this team has been.
And they won't say it if they win tonight. It's just so annoying. This is the 24-hour sports news cycle. You have to have something every day. Don, this is why some days I look around and I go, maybe we don't do sports today. Let's talk favorite comedy television shows. Let's talk prestige TV. There's nothing to say. For a second, I thought this was going to be Greeny's only take, and I just wasn't that impressed.
Tom Thibodeau is a basketball coach.
We know.
They're laying the foundation. They've already lost. God, you're right, Michael. Oh my God, how do you not hop on this bandwagon just to stick it to everybody?
I want to stick it to everybody. I want them to win tonight and then in Indianapolis. Just shut these people up.
And this is.
Oh my God, you're talking about Greeny?
Everybody.
It would finally
Tom Thibodeau is a basketball coach.
And then finally it would apply where when the players can say after they win the series, nobody believed in us. Nobody does.
No, in this case, they'd be the only team where it's true. Now, let's stay with this subject adjacently.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Kendrick Perkins on Get Up. Well, first, let's start with Charles Barkley on TNT.
No matter how tough the Knicks are, everybody gets tired, especially when you're playing against guys who are fresh.
I understand that, but we all know Thibodeau, he ain't going to change now.
But the Knicks going to pay for it in the long run, and that's not right. This is the same stuff we just talked about in Chicago. As a coach, you have to learn from your mistakes. You just can't run guys in the ground. You're going to get hurt. That's why guys get hurt or tired. You can't play like that in the playoffs.
But you know what? Who's always hurt? Kawhi Leonard, the king of load management. He's always hurt. People are going to get hurt. People have a predisposition to get hurt. They get hurt. Whether they play 5 minutes a game or 40 minutes a game, they get hurt. There's nothing that had fatigue that had anything to do with Julius Randle separating his shoulder, with Jalen Brunson hurting his foot. Nothing.
Remember back in the day, Michael, when we would talk about load management as a bad thing and fans complaining that they'd go watch their favorite team play and their favorite basketball player wouldn't be in the game, or they'd go to a game and there'd be no LeBron James or KD and they'd be upset and load management and now it's become, well, why aren't you doing that? You can't win without doing that.
Boy.
Here's Kendrick Perkins responding to Charles Barkley.
That's just ridiculous. I mean, what do you expect Tom Thibodeau to do, okay? You're missing Bogdanovich. You're missing OG Anunoby. You're missing Julius Randle. You're missing Mitchell Robinson. That's 4 key guys. I mean, what the hell is he supposed to do? I mean, he's giving Precious Achiuwa an opportunity to play. We seen McBride come in off the bench. That's just, I mean, that's just lazy, man. That's a lazy take. The world keep blaming Tibbs and saying, you know, he's playing these guys extended minutes or whatever the case may be. But in this case right here with the New York Knicks, who is he supposed to go to?
Couldn't say it any better. Now, if you want to complain about during the season, all right, go for it. I think you're silly. But right now, he's driving them into the ground. Who's he supposed to play?
Now, if you tell me you're telling me the regular season, well, he didn't have Anunoby all year. He didn't have Bogdanovich all year. And Mitchell Robinson got hurt, like 3 weeks into the season?
Yeah, missed most of the year.
So where exactly was he wearing these guys down in the regular season when two of them he didn't even have on his team and the other one got hurt right away?
So after that statement I just played from Kendrick Perkins, Charles Barkley went on ESPN 1000.
Of course he did.
And he responded to Perkins.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to respond to that idiot who averaged 5 points a game. He's not on my level, and I don't have to respond to him.
Oh,
but
boy.
it's interesting that you guys started the conversation saying that was the verdict on Tibbs in Chicago. Of course, we said the same thing in Chicago, and he's a hell of a coach, but he's doing the same thing in New York. But the point this fool need to realize is he didn't play those guys until those guys got hurt. He could have been playing them the whole time. That was the point that I'm making. Why didn't he play those guys sooner? The only reason he's playing those guys is because people got hurt.
But when would he have played them?
This is a situation where I love Chuck. You got to take the L.
I mean, you would be playing, you have a 10 or 11-man rotation. Who does that?
But by the way, this is my point. This goes all the way back to how the feud started on this show with Kendrick Perkins and Charles Barkley. Kendrick said, you don't watch the team. You don't. And you're proving you don't. And Jacob just made a great point. Everyone keeps bringing up the injuries in Chicago. It's one player, Derrick Rose, who's oft injured no matter what.
And he hurt his knee.
It wasn't just playing for Tom Thibodeau that injured Derrick Rose.
And again, I don't understand like how many points you average during your career means how knowledgeable you are about the subject.
And these people are full of nonsense. You really think without Thibodeau, this team would be the place it is? I'm sorry. Any of you pegged this team to be threatening for the conference finals with Jalen Brunson as their best player?
Wasn't there over under like 39.5? They won 50 games.
It's you know what? I hope if you're heading to the Garden right now, I hope you shove it right up everybody's you know what. Yeah. That'll do it for ENN, brought to you by Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Memorial Day sales event.
Well, I don't think I've ever meant this more. Go New York, go New York, go. Really, these people have to have a comeuppance. I mean, you're shredding a really, really good coach. They would not be here with other coaches and playing depth. The depth is starting for them. Josh Hart was supposed to be depth. He's starting. Our coverage starts at 7:30. See you, everybody. We'll talk tomorrow.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up at 7 o'clock, our coverage of the Yankees and Twins gets underway with the pregame show. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sharon saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Growing up, I always wanted to do so many things.
I wanted to be a vet.
I wanted to be an actor.
When I was really little, I don't know why, but I wanted to be a pastor. When I was like a small child.
I wanted to be a celebrity, like by any means necessary.
This is Spike Drop Vegas Heist.
These players are playing for a lot of money today.
I'm only here for 2 feet. I don't really care about any other place.
My dad is a gamer.
My dad.
My brother. My grandmother.
My dad's a big gamer, still is. People will either like me or they will hate me, and I think that's fine. I'm okay with that.
I can't even comprehend what is going on, but I like it.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your life, your career, and everything in between that we've uncovered. They're all centered on numbers. Some of the numbers might be familiar to you, but they all add up to tell your story. So, Nick, are you ready?
I'm ready, dude.
You're ready.
I'm ready. I was able to have my father's number within mine.
Is it true you signed over a pasta meal cooked by your grandmother, Jenny?
Joe came over to my grandma's house and we signed a contract and we had pasta that day, and I literally had completely forgot about that. That's pretty cool.
I'm so grateful that it happened the way it happened. This is how you need to go out, leave it all out there. It was perfect.
What do you want fans to think about when they see the number 23?
I wanted to be somebody different on the field, the window into how I feel about playing out there.
How do you know all this? What was going through my head was soak this in.
The story of my number.
presented by the New York Lottery.
There's hospitals for children. You might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. But these superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano. And I can walk. Please go to loveshriners.org right away. Help us be superheroes too.
On FanDuel Casino, you can play hundreds of games, like Buffalo, and get up to $1,000 back in casino bonus on any first day net loss. Sign up for FanDuel Casino now.
It's all about putting in the work. I prepare the same way for the long haul. Tono gives you all those stats to be able to say, how can I continue to get better? And it starts to challenge you, like, okay, you've done this, but now let's challenge you. Let's do this now. It's all about just training your mind, training your body, training your spirit to be as great as you can. Tono, be your strongest.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
On FanDuel Casino, new players get up to $1,000 back and 200 bonus spins for the #1 feeling, winning. Ranking higher than the 34th best feeling, successfully avoiding your neighbor.
How often do people bring up your Savages in the Box viral rants?
As much as a lot of things. Now I see a lot of shirts from it.
My brother has one. He's always wearing it.
Yeah.
Numbers have a lot of significance in sports. They're sewn into the fabric of the game and onto the backs of its legendary athletes. Numbers often represent insurmountable milestones, unforgettable dates, and unbelievable moments that live forever in glory. But what if there's more to these numbers and icons than meets the eye? I'm Gracie Cashman, and this is the story of my number. Today, we are fortunate to have as our guest Yankees manager Aaron Boone. For the purposes of this interview, can I call you Aaron?
Please.
We'll go right back to Mr. Boone after, I promise. All right. Aaron,
yes.
Thanks for joining us here on The Story of My Number. I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your life, career, everything in between that we've been able to uncover.
Okay.
You won't know every number, but they all add up to tell your story.
Wow.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. 17.
17, my first number in the big leagues.
So on December 4th, 2017, you became the 35th manager of the New York Yankees. From the moment you stepped on the field, you've worn 17 on your back. But 17 isn't the only number Yankee fans associate with you. For 54 games in 2003, you wore the number 19. Why couldn't you wear 17, and why did you choose 19?
So I was number 19 throughout my minor league career. 17 was given to me by the general manager at the time of the Reds, who just, my first year in the big leagues, having a real number in spring training. I think he was trying to create like a lineage of Chris Sabo, who was before me in Cincinnati. He was number 17, and then I was maybe going to be the next third baseman there. When I got into pro ball, I took 19. My college coach, Mike Gillespie, was number 19, someone that I really admired and looked up to. And then my dad's longtime teammate, Greg Luzinski, he was number 19, and I liked the number, and it was available, so it was going to be like, I'm establishing this number for myself for my career, and then I got 17 when I got to the big leagues, but 19 was that number.
Was it difficult for you to give up 17?
When I got traded to the Yankees, John Flaherty was number 17, and actually John offered me 17 if I wanted it, but I was like, you know what? 19's available, and 19 had meant a lot to me, so as a player for the Yankees, I was 19.
58.
58?
I'll give you a hint. On your 58th plate appearance in the 2003 postseason, you smashed a Tim Wakefield knuckleball to send the Yankees to the World Series. Walk us through that at-bat and the aftermath.
Okay, so I'm struggling in the series. I didn't start the game. I enter the game as a pinch runner in the 9th inning behind Mariano, who pitched 3 amazing innings to get us to the 11th inning. I'm facing Tim Wakefield, who I had no success against. And Joe Torre, before the inning, just goes, hey, hit the ball through the middle. Doesn't mean you won't go deep, just hit the ball through the middle. And as I'm walking to home plate, I'm just like, you're overthinking this. Get a good pitch to hit. Turned out to be the first pitch. Rest is history. And now we got 58.
It took you 22 seconds to trot around the bases, which also happens to be the league average. What was going through your head during that time? You didn't take a single extra second to soak it up.
What was going through my head was soak this in. And yes, I should have taken more time, but on some level, I was probably just floating around the bases. And I wore this pad on my batting glove that was Velcroed on from where I'd gotten hit with a lot of pitches. And it was the first time and the only time in my career that on a swing, the Velcro came off. So if you see me running around the bases, around second base, I'm reapplying my pad because the Velcro strap had come undone. So in trying to drink it all in and floating around the bases, I'm also trying to restrap my pad onto my batting glove. Derek Jeter actually told me if he would have hit that homer against the Red Sox, he would have went around backwards.
6.
6?
There are 6 three-generation baseball families.
Oh, okay.
The Boones are one of them.
Yes.
How does it feel to be part of that legacy?
Really proud of it, especially now, you know, that I'm removed from my playing career. When Brett made it to the big leagues, we became the first three-generation family. Now there's 6. But when Brett made the All-Star team and then I made the All-Star team, we became the first 3 generations of All-Stars.
8.
8 is a big number.
This number has a particular resonance in Boone family lore as it was donned by both your father and grandfather.
That was what I envisioned being my big league number at some point. I don't know why I switched other than wanting to kind of blaze a little probably trail of my own and the reverence that I had for 19, but 8 meant a lot to me. And then after I played for the Cleveland Indians in 2006 and I signed with the Florida Marlins in 2007, I want to do 8 and kind of honor my grandpa and my dad and the number I thought I would always have, and I was a number as my kid. So my last 3 years playing, and I was number 8 to finish out my career.
2,740,718. There have been 2,740,718 views of your Savages in the Box viral rants. How often do people bring this up when they meet you?
As much as a lot of things, you know, like the home run comes up a lot, and actually that comes up a lot. And now I see a lot of shirts from it.
My brother has one. He's always wearing it.
Yeah. Right away in the first couple innings, I felt like there was a handful of missed calls. The call that did me in was a call on DJ LeMahieu. And I saw DJ react to it, and that's when I kind of jumped in and...
Well, get your money's worth, Aaron.
You've been ejected a league-leading 30 times since becoming manager, 3rd highest of all time. What's it like getting thrown out, and what do you do when you're in the locker room?
Usually I'm not too happy. There's usually some adrenaline and some emotion involved. It's actually more stressful inside for me.
Well, your father was only ejected 8 times over 6 seasons as manager.
I guess he was able to rein it in a little better than I was. There's certain things I'm going to fight for and not compromise on, and if that means getting ejected at a high rate, although I'm trying to slow it down a little bit.
1.
Somebody else's ejections? Brett's?
No, on June 20th, 1997, your first game as a major leaguer, you were ejected after arguing with the ump about being called out at home.
You know how great? That's like foreshadowing.
31. You're also widely known for your ability to mimic the batting stances of players, such as Dave Winfield, who wore 31 for the Yankees. Can you do that impression for us?
Sure. So Dave Winfield's going to be a little something like this. That's my Dave Winfield.
The story of my number is presented by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Please play responsibly. You must be 18 or over.
He knows how to work a crowd. The marvelous Mr. Soto. Oh, long home run for the amazing Soto.
What time is it? Showtime!
You know what's surprising?
Subway at 2 a.m.?
Oh, no. The prizes you could win with the new scratch-off games from the New York Lottery.
That is surprising.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Bonkers.
Seriously, that is outrageous.
Nothing surprises a New Yorker like new monthly scratch-off games from the New York Lottery. Play $10 million cash now.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer. But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? Don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
I know it's not easy dealing with us.
We make sure everyone knows that we're important business people.
And treat our seat like a personal spa.
Snickers.
Sorry.
Big season. More reasons to say yes. Wow.
Aaron Judge crushes one.
Get all the Yankees action on the Yes app. Download now.
First of all, how do you know all this?
Thursday, streaming on the Yes app.
There's 50,000 people there. Here comes Fidel Castro, jumps the fence and shakes all of our hands.
The story of my number, presented by the New York Lottery. Streaming Thursday, exclusively on the Yes app.
36 and 47. At age 36, you underwent a major open heart surgery. And then at age 47, you had a pacemaker installed.
Yep.
How did this come about and how did it change your approach to life?
When I was in college, they heard something in my heart. So I was, 18, 19 at the time. And they would tell me at some point, you're probably going to have surgery. So I was in spring training in my last season in the big leagues. And my cardiologist, he said, hey, I think you got to have the surgery now. It's time. So, man, it was very emotional. I was very much at peace with it, but I ended up having to tell my team, hey, I got to go have heart surgery. You know, I have a very strong faith, so I was very much at peace with whatever was to come of this. It was just overwhelming, the amount of people that reached out to me. It's through times like that where, you know, you find out there's a lot of cool people out there in the world. So I have the surgery. The surgery's brutal. I mean, coming out of surgery, the weeks after. But one of the cool things is to see your body bounce back. Sometime in June, I got the clearance to start working out again. I played the month of September to kind of finish my career, so I was very grateful for that. And then also, 47, having the pacemaker. So I just wasn't feeling great in spring training a couple years ago, and a couple of our coaches noticed, and my pulse was low. So anyway, they got me in. put the pacemaker in. That was an easy surgery, and I can't tell you, when I woke up out of surgery, I felt like, oh, that's what I've been missing. It was that much of a game changer for me right away, and my old buddy's still with me.
You only had 14 plate appearances in the majors after returning from your heart surgery. It's kind of sounding like you're saying that you knew before the surgery that it was going to be the end of your major league career.
I wasn't sure of that. The heart surgery definitely made it clear to me, and in a way helped with some closure on my career, because I feel like there's a lot of players that don't know when the end is. For me, it was like I got done with that season, and I knew I couldn't do it at the level that I wanted to do it anymore. And so it's just cool to be able to kind of go out on my own terms.
Was there a moment that you knew it was time to hang up the cleats?
Yeah, I had an at-bat against Kyle Loesch, and he just abused me. I mean, just on pitches that I feel like I normally in my career would have had success against or done something with. I couldn't do much with him. I had an at-bat against Cole Hamels, too, with the Phillies, same kind of thing, where I was just like, I felt like I was a little overmatched on pitches that I used to really handle. So those were two at-bats that I remember going, this might be it.
116. Your grandfather, Ray, the Boone who started it all, led the AL with 116 RBIs in 1955 for the Detroit Tigers. What was your relationship like with him?
Awesome. My mom's mom and then my dad's mom and dad were giant figures in my life for 30 years until, they started to pass away. But they were huge influences. I have great memories of my grandparents, and my grandpa was kind of the start of it all for us, and we talked a lot of baseball over the years. One thing he and my dad imparted on me and stuck with me forever, and I try to live my life this way, is try and choose something that you love doing and do it to the best of your ability. And I feel like if you can check those two boxes on things, especially when you're talking about a career, you're in a pretty good spot, and I try to live that.
1.15. Your great Aunt Terry swam the 100-meter backstroke in 1 minute and 15 seconds during the 1968 Olympic trials. Can you tell us a little bit about the athletic prowess in your family outside of baseball?
My great-grandfather, who became a doctor, played football at the Naval Academy. My grandma swam every day of her life. She taught us all how to swim. She just chucked us in the pool, and wherever we were swimming.
Did you ever try swimming as a competitive sport?
I did go out for swimming one time. I was a little kid. It was early in the morning in Jersey, and you jumped in the water, and it was freezing. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not swimming competitive. I'm not doing these early morning jump in the freezing cold pool. No. Back to football, baseball, basketball.
Is this your grandma, Patsy, who
Yes.
taught you how to swim? Because she was a competitive synchronized swimmer, right?
Yes.
So she appeared in some Hollywood films with
Yes.
Esther Williams. Have you seen them?
I've seen some clips, yes.
1734.
Well, 17's my number, and I don't know, 34's doubling it.
I'll give you a hint. It's a year.
Okay.
Daniel
Daniel Boone.
Yeah, that's a really interesting connection that I never thought about, though. You are a descendant of the legendary frontiersman Daniel Boone, who was born in 1734. What do you know about his life and legacy, and do you think he would have made a good ball player?
Yeah, you know what? He was probably the start of the ball players.
Maybe he was the original baseball gene.
But exactly, he was the original baseball gene. And now I can say I chose 17 because it was 1734,
Yeah.
Daniel Boone, and I wanted to honor where the genealogy began.
The story of my number is presented by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Please play responsibly. You must be 18 or over.
And this is our signature apartment. Well, great bones. What do you think?
Huh. Do you know what's surprising?
That I have 46 applications on this already?
No. The prizes you can win with the new scratch-off games from the New York Lottery.
That is surprising. And it comes with a bed.
Where's the bed?
Go.
Nothing surprises a New Yorker like new monthly scratch-off games from the New York Lottery.
And such friendly neighbors.
Play $10 million cash.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can start it with a splash. With a play date at a park. Or at a party with friends. Or at an epic water balloon fight.
Gotcha!
Get a great lease on a new 2024 Grand Highlander all-wheel drive for just $499 a month, with the assurance that Toyota is a Kelley Blue Book best resale value.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, being the Northeast's best cancer center means being the best for you. Pairing the most advanced treatments with the most compassionate treatment. It takes looking at every cancer from every angle. And a care team that looks out for you and everyone you care for. It takes MSK.
First of all, how do you know all this?
Thursday on an all-new episode of The Story of My Number.
You were the 75th overall pick by the Boston Red Sox in 1985.
It was a great decision on our family part, I guess. Not mine.
Yeah.
There's 50,000 people there. Here comes Fidel Castro, jumps the fence and shakes all of our hands.
Gracie Cashman sits down with Yankees legend Tino Martinez on The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Streaming Thursday, exclusively on the Yes app.
Four. You're 4 years younger than your brother Brett.
Yes, I am 4 years younger than him.
How competitive were you guys growing up?
Very. He was a great older brother. Up until 5th grade, we were in New Jersey outside of Philadelphia when my dad was with Philly. So Brett would always, from the time I was probably 4, 5, 6 years old, he let me tag along with him. And I think it was actually very instrumental in shaping my athletic career and certainly my baseball career, just because I was playing with older kids all the time when I was a little kid, and if I didn't hold my own, I couldn't play. So I think it was very instrumental, but he was a great older brother and kind of taking me along with him. We were very competitive. We used to box in the house. He used to pound me over the head with the headgear on, so yeah, we were pretty competitive.
21.
I can have a drink?
No, you've been married for 21 years now. How has your relationship changed in the 21 years since you got married?
Wow. Well, 4 kids, 2 biological kids, 2 adoptions. We've lived in California, we've lived in Arizona, now we live on the East Coast. We have a kid in college now, 1 more off to college, 1 more that's going to be a senior. So we've gone from raising little babies and toddlers to now having more grown-up kids. We've been through a lot, but our love and admiration for one another is hopefully how it should be 21 years in.
When did you know she was the one?
Right away.
Even when you were friends?
Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, before we ever went out on a date, I told her, I said, I'm going to marry you someday. And yeah.
And you did?
And I did.
You have 4 kids. You had your first Brandon in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like becoming a father while you were still playing?
I mean, how do you know what that's going to be like? To see your son being born changes you forever. I actually went from the hospital, went to play in the game. I hit a home run in the game that day. So I remember coming home and putting it in his crib, but nothing like being there for one of your kids being born.
In 2009, your daughter Bella was born. What was that period of your life like?
So Laura was pregnant when I had surgery. So just in case, I had written a few letters to a few people, and one of them was to Bella, who wasn't born yet. So getting to be there, just going through that year and heart and all that, made it maybe all the more special and meaningful, but another magical day to get to see one of your kids being born.
Yeah. 2012.
Is that when the boys came home?
In 2012, your wife Laura went down to Haiti on a mission trip to help the victims of the devastating 2010 earthquake. Tell us about how that trip changed your lives.
Yeah, so she was going over there on a mission trip with our church and spent a lot of time in an orphanage over there and met Jonelle, our oldest. and basically came home and said, we need to do this. And I said, all right. In her subsequent trips over there, I think it was the next trip, she realized Jonelle had a little brother at the orphanage too, Sergo. So we're like, well, Sergo needs to be part of this too. So what was great is we were going through the adoption process with the boys, which took about 2 years. I feel lucky to get to know these guys and get to have a hand in raising them and helping them turn out to be, you know, the men they want to be. They're amazing kids, and I'm just so proud of who they are now and the men they're becoming.
The Story of My Number is presented by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Please play responsibly. You must be 18 or over.
He knows how to work a crowd. The marvelous Mr. Soto. Oh, long home run for the amazing Soto.
After you. I'm holding space for you, physically and emotionally.
I feel your validation, and I reciprocate your generosity.
You know what's surprising?
What, how well we're handling all this?
No, the prizes you could win with the new scratch-off games from the New York Lottery.
That is actually incredible. 1 sec.
You're a light to those around you.
You can take your light, and you can have a nice day.
Nothing surprises a New Yorker like new monthly scratch-off games from the New York Lottery. Play $10 million cash now.
Introducing Domino's new New York-style pizza, the biggest star of your next pizza night. It's made with our fresh, never-frozen dough that's stretched thin, then topped with melty provolone cheese and cut into 6 big, foldable slices. For the perfect balance of crust, sauce, cheese, and toppings in every tasty bite. So why keep your taste buds waiting? For a limited time, you can get large New York-style pizzas with 3 toppings for only $10.99 or 2 medium 2-topping New York-style pizzas for only $6.99 each at Domino's.
Never seen it like this before. Whoa, make you wanna get that, get that. Got 'em coming back for more. Let's go. Yeah, I'ma bring the wow. I'ma bring the wow. Yeah, I'ma bring the wow.
Lease the Genesis GV80 for $349 per month. Exclusively at your tri-state Genesis retailers.
First of all, how do you know all this?
Thursday on an all-new episode of The Story of My Number.
You were the 75th overall pick by the Boston Red Sox in 1985.
It was a great decision on our family part, I guess. Not mine. There's 50,000 people there. Here comes Fidel Castro, jumps the fence and shakes all of our hands.
Gracie Cashman sits down with Yankees legend Tino Martinez on The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Streaming Thursday, exclusively on the Yes app.
So, Aaron, we end all of these interviews with a little bit of trivia. So, number 1, how many of the other 5 third-generation families can you name?
Bells, Hairston, gosh, I don't know, now I'm blanking.
Colemans.
Colemans.
The Schofields.
Schofields.
Kessingers.
Kessingers.
All right, number 2. Before donning number 8, your grandfather Ray wore another number his rookie year for Cleveland. What number was it?
I don't know.
11.
Gosh, how did I not know that?
Similarly, during his rookie year for the Phillies, your dad did not wear 8. What was his number?
39?
40. You were very close.
Wow.
Who was the last Yankee to wear 19?
Tanaka?
Mm-hmm. Who was wearing 17 when you joined the Yankees?
John Flaherty.
Number 17 is only retired by one New York sports team. Can you name that player?
No.
What if I tell you it's the Mets?
Keith Hernandez.
Number 19 is retired by 3 New York teams. Can you name the players?
Reed.
Mm-hmm.
19. That's all I got for you.
Jean Rattel of the New York Rangers and Brian Trottier of the Islanders.
Probably could have got Trottier, but...
You had 17 home runs one year in the minor. Do you know which year it was?
Double-A. 1996.
Yes, for the Chattanooga Lookouts.
Yep.
How many hits did you have in your career?
1,009?
17, 1017.
I should know that.
What two players did the Yankees trade away to acquire you in 2003?
Brandon Clausen, and I don't know.
Charlie Manning.
The great Charlie Manning.
How many home runs did you hit at USC?
Not many. 11.
Yeah. Which Yankees pitcher wore 19 throughout all of the 80s?
Dave Righetti.
What round were you selected in by the California Angels in the 1991 amateur draft?
42nd?
43rd. So Aaron, Mr. Boone, when you end up leaving the game of baseball, what do you want people to say was the story of your number? What legacy do you want Aaron Boone to have?
I don't know. I guess just that I was a great teammate. The people that I got to do it with, both between the lines as players, hopefully people always think, man, he was an awesome teammate. And that would be good enough for me. Awesome.
Well, it's so fun to interview you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks to Aaron Boone for joining us here on The Story of My Number. Here are some numbers you may have missed on today's episode. Mr. Boone mentioned his uniform number, 17, exactly 6 times. However, he said 19, which has a treasured place in Boone family lore, 9 times. Mr. Boone is a family man at heart, mentioning different family members a whopping 21 times. We did not have time to show one Aaron Boone Chris Farley impression. True to his reputation as players manager, he generously named other players 12 times. John Flaherty was mentioned twice. It took him 2.3 seconds to realize Daniel Boone's birth year. He answered 10 trivia questions correctly. As for our Yankees counter, as the Yankees manager, he felt secure enough to only name drop the Yankees once. This episode's numbers are presented by the New York Lottery. What are your lucky numbers?
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on. World champions, team of the decade. The Yankees are back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Jones drills this one to left field. Gone. Jones gets his first start in the outfield, has his first home run as a New York Yankee.
He's capable of that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, he can swing the bat. What a good way to get us started today.
You know why I'm here. You know what I came to do. No doubter for Jose Trevino. Judge hammers one to right field and gone. Torres drives it. Gone. Goodbye. Gleyber Torres. And gone. Jose Trevino, second home run.
Trevi continues to do it on both sides, and obviously a really good offensive day for us.
5 home runs from the Yankees. Yeah, the Yankees have won 10 of their first 13 series this season. You know.
So far, so good for the Yankees on this road trip as they hammered their way out of Tampa Bay with a series win. Tonight, the trip for Giancarlo Stanton and the Bronx Bombers continues against an opponent that's been red hot. Let's get you ready for the New York Yankees taking on the Minnesota Twins in a Tuesday night game at Target Field in Minneapolis. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Alongside Jack Curry, I'm Chris Sheeran. The Yankees have had a lot of success playing the Twins over the last couple of decades, but it was Minnesota who came out ahead in the series last season. This next chapter begins with both teams among the American League's best. And let's get right to our Yale-New Haven Health key matchup. On one side, you got the Twins. They've won 17 of their last 20, including a 12-game winning streak to rebound from a 7-13 start. While the Yankees have won 10 of their first 13 series for only the 5th time since 1961. And Jack, as the season progresses, teams continue to learn more and more about themselves, and that takes us to your Hyundai opening comment.
Right, I think we find out what a team's identity is, Chris, and as I watch this Yankee team, I see a confident team, a talented team, a resourceful team. You might even look at that Yankee team and say, you got the look of a team that is going to be in this for the long haul and that expects to make some noise in October. They've got Carlos Rodon on the mound, and he's got the look of a different pitcher. He's not the guy he was in 2023. And if the Yankees want to go to important places and high milestones in 2024, they need Rodon to be the pitcher they've seen so far this season.
All right, Jack, let's head out to Target Field where Justin Shackle is standing by with the Ford Clubhouse Report. And Shaq, let's start with this Yankees starting rotation. Carlos Rodon, as Jack just mentioned, he looks to keep it going, and this is all without the Coltrane from day one.
Yeah, Chris, no secret, pitching has been a big reason as to why the Yankees enter the second leg of this road trip. 12 games above 500, just percentage points behind Baltimore for first place in the AL East. But if you zoom in closer, the starting pitching has really answered the call. It's developed into a nice surprise here in 2024. And it's not just the results. Those obviously matter, but it's the length that starting pitchers have given this team. The Yankees rotation enters the night 7th in the majors in innings pitched this season. And I asked Aaron Boone how valuable the innings logged have been to this team's early success.
The consistent outings we've gotten from our starters have, set us up and give us a really good chance to win a ball game every single day. And that's a credit to them and their consistency, and we got to keep building on that.
What has impressed you about the body of work that Carlos has been able to put together early on here?
Just the good place that he's in based on the foundation that he's laid since the end of the season last year. He had a great winter into a great spring. He's done everything he's needed to do to set himself up to give him the best chance to be successful, and then his talent now takes over from there. But he's paid the price. He's worked in the winter, between his starts. He's done everything he's needed to do physically, in the weight room, in the training room, on the mound. So he's laid a really nice foundation for himself, and it showed up so far.
Rodon's coming off a terrific outing back at the stadium against the Astros last week. He generated 16 swings and misses in that start against the Astros. That's the most he's had in a start this season. He was attacking early and often with the fastball slider combo in lockstep with his catcher, Austin Wells. And if you take a look at the lineup, Austin Wells back behind the plate doing the catching for Rodon tonight. And Chris, that leads us to something else about this catching duo that we've seen with Austin Wells and Jose Trevino. The Yankees offense, a big part of it recently has come from the catching position. Wells and Trevino have combined to hit .338 over the team's last 18 games. That has been a massive lift for this lineup's production, Chris.
Yeah, they're not only doing it defensively, Justin, to your point, they're doing it at the dish as well. And that leads us to the Morgan & Morgan injury report. Some more good news for this New York Yankee team as some guys are about to start some rehab stints.
Yeah, Chris, Garrett Cole, DJ LeMahieu continued their work at the team's complex in Tampa, Florida today. Aaron Boone talked about Garrett Cole being back on the mound, throwing a bullpen off the mound through 36 pitches there. He said everything went well with Garrett Cole. But when it comes to DJ LeMahieu, he could be inching closer to a rehab. DJ today took all his live at-bats over at the complex, but there was some spotty weather in the Tampa area that prevented him from fully getting his live defensive work outdoors. Nevertheless, Nevertheless, Aaron Boone said that DJ LeMahieu will likely begin a rehab assignment either on Thursday or on Friday. And he also said that DJ will gradually build himself up to playing full 9-inning contest over the course of that rehab assignment. He said that DJ could also possibly not undergo more imaging on that foot before getting back into a rehab assignment for the Yankees. So good news there on the Cole front and on the LeMahieu front. Obviously, those two players have yet to make their season debuts for the Yankees, but the Yankees enter tonight with the most wins in the American League at 27. They've won 7 of their last 9, but this is going to be a good test for the Yankees because the Minnesota Twins are knocking on Cleveland's door atop the American League Central. The Twins got off to a 7-13 start, but they have since gone 17-3 over their last 20 games. They are the hottest team across Major League Baseball over the last few weeks, and I asked Aaron Boone what's impressed him from what he's seen with Minnesota thus far.
I think they're really good. That's one of my impressions, and they're missing a couple key guys still, but you know, very versatile offensively or position player wise. You know, we have a righty out there. We're gonna see kind of a different lineup. We know we're gonna see pinch hitters when they bring certain guys in, so they're gonna use their entire group usually each and every day. We're going to see 3 really good starting pitchers here. They've got an elite closer and some arms in the bullpen that are legit. I think this Twins team's really good.
And I caught up with Twins manager Rocco Baldelli earlier today talking about what type of test this would be for his club after their slow start, their hot stretch recently, like we said, 17-3 over the last 20 games. He talked about the Yankees. He told me he really likes the way the Yankees have plugged and supplemented their personnel this season. He said that the Twins respect the Yankees, but he's very confident with the way his team's playing. They don't really worry about anybody that's in front of them. They're focusing on themselves, and that includes this series against a tough Yankees opponent, Chris.
Justin, thank you very much. We'll see you throughout the game and on the post-game show as well. Now, all season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Just getting started here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Coming up, the Bronx Bombers.